I sent out some money looking for some stuff, and I got this package in the mail. We need something else to go with this because we're geeks, but you know what we need? Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thank Cthulhu. It is Sunday. Tonight, we are going to have an awesome show. Oh my God, I'm so excited. This is our third episode of the Owlite Unwrapped. And look at all of the people that we have unwrapping stuff tonight. This is a comic book extravaganza. I have brought in... We're going... Comic Palooza, true.
Palooza. Sounds fancier. Palooza.
Hi, Delphine.
Hey, how are you? Sorry.
I'm going to go through real quick and let everybody introduce themselves as we do this because we have brought in people from everywhere. So everybody's
the four corners of the universe.
Or of the internet.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
All over. Yeah, there's at least 4 different podcast networks, I think, going on here at once. So I'm going to take us through. We'll just go in order and down and around. So Jenny, give us a quick hi. Tell us where.
Hi. I'm Jenny and Friday Blue. I'm from Friday of the Blue Box. I love authors. I love talking to new people, and I love learning new things. And I am grateful to be here and find out what's in this box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
All right. Next we have Tom Dog.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Tom Dog, and I am the executive producer of Brill Pro. I've been doing this for quite some time. Originally, the stuff that you see on my YouTube channel at TomDog247. Basically, I was doing these on cable access. So I pretty much have 25 years of experience and everything, and I'm excited and everything. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years now, and haven't looked back since.
All right. Oh, I just pulled it from the stream.
Hello. Extreme close-up.
Sorry, buddy. Forgive me.
We're all getting switched around.
Yeah.
I'm playing Brady Brunch with everybody because I don't know which buttons to push. Okay. Velvet J.
Hey, everybody. It's your man, Velvet J, known as Rich Davis. I am the co-host of Splash Pages. We are a nerd culture podcast that gives you news. We talk about old, cool comic books. And I am a disseminator of the information. So I like to put out pieces of content under 60 seconds, known as small content or petite, if you will, on TikTok, Facebook Reels, and 3 or 4 other places. And look for my stuff, Velvet Joker 1. Blowing up. Here we go. I'm excited to do some. I've never done an opening tonight. Like and there's my man, my co-host, right to the other side of me that way, Jar Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Hey, I'm Jar Jeremy, and I came with my hair. It's a little crazy. I don't know, the heat or something. But as Rich said, I'm part of the what are we, a quadro? Yeah, on Splash Pages. We're a quintuplet. No, not a quintuplet. A quadruplet. Quartet. Thank you. Oh my God, why couldn't I think of that? On Splash Pages, and on Wednesdays you can check me out on the Midweek Geeks, all part of the Dorkening podcast network. It's a fantastic thing.
Right. Raz, you guys all know Raz, but we're still gonna let him chat.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Meow.
I'm Raz T. Slasher. You can find me at RazTSlasher.com and a lot of other amazing places thanks to our lovely friend Jenny over here. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I think TikTok. There's probably like 12 more knowing her that I don't remember. But yeah, you can literally find me everywhere. Toys are sold. Now with Kung Fu Action Grip.
And John, down at the bottom. this is who has put everything together for us tonight.
How's it going? My name is John Krysa, otherwise known as Boss Kong of Silverback Graphics. I'm the owner of Silverback Graphics, and I put out a lot of the artwork that's over there as well. I've been building comic boxes now for, like 4 or 5 years now. But I was a part of the original 6 group of shows that created the whole Facebook Live comic book sales movement. And I have just been collecting comic books as long as I can remember, and that's pretty much about it.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks for making the boxes, John.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
The boxes are amazing.
They are.
Oh, you have no idea what you're in for.
Yeah. If you guys can see some of the artwork around the border, this was all the stuff that's not good enough to sell. It's just stuff he puts on the packaging so it can just be sent out and look kind of cool.
So I love all of my children. I just sometimes think that, maybe they could be more like their brothers and sisters, and they get put in time out. And when I decide I have a use for them, it's usually just going to be on the outside of some packaging that I don't really mind getting beat up. Everybody's got favorite children. Everybody's got children that they don't mind if they get beat a little bit. And those are mine.
And if you like John's art style, I've seen online that he sells his art.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So where can you find that, John?
So for the most part, I just kind of operate on Instagram. I did, the whole set up your own website and, operate on Etsy, stuff like that for a while. It's a nightmare to maintain. You end up losing money in the long run. But if you go to Instagram, or for those of you who may still actually just use web browsers to go to Instagram, instagram.com/thesilverbackgraphics, and that's graphics with an X. So, if you go there, I post new sketches pretty much daily, and keep it fairly universal. Usually it's 1 to 35, 2 to 55, and there's a little bit of everything on there because I don't have the attention span to be consistent.
But
John,
your
media here, it looks
is your
like some kind of marker. Is it a paint marker? What is it exactly?
So it's a little bit of everything. So I have friends of mine that actually have been to art school and stuff. And it drives them batshit insane because most artists, for the most part, will choose to work in one medium or another. And that's what they'll consistently be, especially if they're going to sell artwork. On the other hand, right now as we speak, I have this is just a regular felt tip marker. I have an acrylic marker, liquid chrome pen, Fat Boy Sharpie, another weird purplish black permanent marker, and then I have 4 acrylic paint pens.
And just so our fans know, which one gets you the highest?
Oh, if you have them all together immediately and then make sure there's zero ventilation in the room. That's the trick to the
Fuck yeah.
You heard it here first, kids.
But yeah, then I mix in stuff because I think one of you had asked if she opened up one of my boxes originally on a show. Someone had said something about everything that I do being shiny, and if I was a product of the 90s. I actually am a product of the 90s. So, I am the lord of the gimmick cover. I was somebody who bought every glow-in-the-dark, every chromium cover, every embossed cover. I still love them to this day, and I like to mix in all my art. So you'll notice there's a good chunk of my artwork that even if I don't tell you about it, you're going to wake up and probably piss your pants when you see that it's looking back at you in the middle of the night. Most of the stuff that I do is on, this year that I'm working on is a foil sheet. I don't really work on really conventional canvases, which drives a lot of people batshit insane. Most of the stuff that I work on isn't really measured in any kind of easy to frame or anything like that measurement. Yeah, I've been one of those people that just doesn't like to make life easy for anybody or anything, including myself. So all the stuff I work on is usually unconventional and kind of gimmicky at times, depending on what piece I'm working on.
Oh yeah. I think my favorite gimmick copy of any comic back in the day was the alternate Ren and Stimpy #1 that had this scratch and sniff option on the front cover.
That's a great underutilized option, man. Scratch and sniff, that was something that you could really mess with your audience if you didn't really announce what it was. And Ren and Stimpy didn't. They just said scratch and sniff, and they didn't tell you that it was going to be ass when you scratch and sniff.
Right. Right. It was very
For the
shocking.
most part, people just expect, fruity or some kind of pleasant smell. No one ever expects like dirty cat litter to be a smell that someone is going to actually find a way to utilize in scratches.
Yep.
I did not know that existed.
Oh, it's out there.
Oh yeah. I had a signed copy of that one, man.
Hey John,
Nice.
have you ever tried an Al Jaffe style fold-in?
What was it?
Ooh, there you go.
Like, remember Mad Magazine, Al Jaffe, who just passed? He did the fold-in.
Yes. So I have tried it. It's gonna take a lot of like work for me to line stuff up like that. But I've tried it before. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but I have done a lot of like connecting piece work,
Okay.
which is kind of like
Just cool that you took the challenge on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd like to try anything. It's actually how I got into making art in the first place. I learned everything completely backwards. Most people, they start out drawing pen and paper, things like that. I actually started out learning how to just do digital artwork for the most part, and because I grew up banging my head off of every hard surface I've ever seen, my hands are always a little shaky. So I was never big on like traditional artwork and like putting pen and ink to paper and things like that. And so eventually, once I got fairly decent at digital artwork, then I decided to transition to learning like more traditional and tangible style art. But that's the big thing is I always want to try and learn new stuff. Like I was doing an exercise a few weeks back trying to learn how to actually draw backwards. So
Interesting.
yeah, so it's basically like you're gonna draw like the outline, the silhouette that you want on one side of it, and then you're gonna do all of your color, inks, and fills from the back side because you do it on like a translucent piece. So that way, when you flip it over, it'll be completely filled in, but it'll be done from the back side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're gonna fail about 150 times to every one time you get it right. Even to this day, I still have a whole drawer full of what I call box art. Which is the stuff that I get to the end of, and I'm like, why? Why do I hate you so much? But every now and then I hit a decent piece, and that's usually the stuff you'll see pop up on Instagram.
Nice.
Rich, it's really interesting that you asked that just now because last night, and while I have all of you geeks here, my mother was like, so we were looking through change, and I was like, oh look, I have this quarter into that quarter while we were waiting in line somewhere. And she's like, I used to have an Alfred E. Newman penny. And I was like, you did? And she's like, yeah. And I kept it with me for years, and I don't know whatever happened to it. Can you look it up? And I looked up, and they had like bronze cast coins and stuff, but she swears, she's like, no, it was just a penny, but it was Alfred E. Newman on it instead of Abraham Lincoln. Does anyone know about this? What I'm talking about?
I wonder if it's like one of those things at Disney where you could like crank it out.
So it actually was. It was a very similar type thing, except for so Mad Magazine actually bought a mint. As weird as that sounds, they bought a mint machine. They could basically buy whole sheets because they realized it was cheaper than to do gimmick things, like to buy stuff that will make smaller gimmicky pieces. It would actually cost them more money to have an external company make them. So it would actually be a cheaper option for them to reach out and buy an actual coin press and a coin punch. And so when they were putting them out, you were actually getting things that were minted the exact same way as as U.S. currency. And that's why. So she probably did, but those are actually a lot harder to find than the gimmicky ones, because the gimmicky ones they made in such large quantities. But when the U.S. realized that a comic book company could actually produce currency that was identical to theirs, they weren't big on the idea. So
she got it in circulation. Like she didn't go out and buy it. Yeah.
And that's exactly why they took it away from them, because you could literally just produce your own money. And for a long time, people don't realize that. Like the mints that are all over the U.S. that produce U.S. money for a long time, those were just considered public companies. So you could buy the same machinery that the U.S. was buying. And so the U.S. actually locked it up. There was like 20 or 30 years where you could just buy the same machines that the U.S. was buying.
Yep.
Because they didn't own them. A private company built them for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to let her know. That is awesome that you knew that. Okay, we're going to get started because we have a lot to go through tonight. But the first thing is going to be another interview with you about stuff real quick. Jenny and I both purchased different types of boxes than the rest of these guys did. We went for the Sandman that you're doing.
Yes.
So I want you to explain what this is and why it's different from what we did with them.
I have so over time, because when I first started making boxes, there was like these companies like that Spider-Man booth and stuff like that. Those were what I call scam boxes. Basically, it's a place that has like overstock of store exclusives or something like that, and they just want to dump this dead stock that they have that they can't move. So they would put out mystery boxes, and those mystery boxes would all be the same thing. And then they would tell people like, oh, well, one of the boxes out of the amount, and they would never tell anybody the amount made would be this really big key book. But you would see everybody else that opened them up just getting the same crap over and over again, which is store exclusives are cool. But when you've seen 15 other people do an unboxing of these boxes and it's all the exact same bullshit, it kind of loses its draw for an audience to come watch your video and they're like, oh yeah, that's gonna have that same Joker exclusive, or oh yeah, that's gonna have that. So I started making what I call retail boxes. And retail boxes, they're small runs, usually somewhere in the range of like 15 to 30 boxes. And every single box was going to be different. There was never going to be two boxes that were going to be the same. And I would have like a chase that I put in there. In this situation, it was, I believe it's volume 1 of Sandman, like one of Jack Kirby's like masterpieces. But a lot of people don't realize that they're way before variant covers were a thing. There were error variants out there, and Sandman Volume 1 has one of the most prominent ones. As issue number 1 has a purple variant because the cover was blue and somebody had put too much red into the ink when they were pressing them. They came out purple. And because, printing is expensive, and back then it was even more expensive because they didn't own the printing companies, they were not going to just pulp and repress a whole run of the book. So a large, well, I guess not large, but a portion of the initial run were issue number 1s that were just purple. And people didn't realize, because they would only release them to certain markets, that they were different until people started comparing notes and the internet became a thing. And that's when you realize that, oh yeah, the purple ones are actually really hard to find, and the purple ones and the blue ones are not the same thing. So, as well as the 1 through 6, the original volume 1, there's also the purple variant in there. It's probably the highest grade out of all the books in the run that I included. But I like to make sure that something that you're chasing, it's not always going to be the same thing. Because everybody, it drives me insane. When you go into forums and people say, hey, I'm looking to buy a comic book, before I even read the next sentence, I always know without a doubt it's going to be either Amazing Spider-Man 300, New Mutants 98, or excuse me, Giant Size X-Men 1, X-Men 266. It's just like these really common hotkeys, and which is great to have. If you have a long box full of X-Men 266 you want to unload, by all means, let me know. I'll come take them off your hands. But it drives me nuts because there's so many other cool things out there that people can find that they don't realize are also just as rare, just as obscure. And because they kind of sit in obscurity, they don't really reach any kind of value until the public is made aware of them. And so that's why every single box that I put out, I put a little envelope in each one to make sure that you can open it up and you're like, oh, it's not just you getting a stack of books that you're like, I don't understand what any of these books are, but I don't collect any of this, so I guess it's a box full of crap. That way there you can open it up and you may discover something that you didn't know about. You might discover something that you think is unique or interesting about a character that you may not have given a second look before. And I've had, I mean, it's got to be a couple hundred guys by now that have bought these boxes in the past that have gotten a hold of me and been like, hey, I didn't really have any interest in this character until I bought your box. And then I found out that they did this because of this book. And so I started reading more about it and I got really into it. And that's probably one of the best feelings in the world, to actually get people into something that I love so much, and not just for the same reasons that like everybody and their mother got into it because they watched the Marvel movie and all of a sudden they were going to be comic book collectors, or they watched an episode of Pawn Stars that they had comic books on it, and they decided they were going to be the next comic book, aficionado. Like, so if I can get somebody into it, or even something where they're like, oh, my kid would love that. And so they get their kid into it, and then it becomes a thing for both of them. So that's why I put those little envelopes in there for you guys. But the retail boxes are always small run, and I make sure that not a single box will ever be identical. So, but I try to make them as, what's the word? I guess broadly appealing as possible, so that like if anybody, even like the new collector or somebody who's been a collector for 20 plus years, like myself, they can get this box and still just be happy. Like people don't realize that every box I have to look at, and I won't wrap it up and call it a box until I am 100% convinced that I would be happy to receive this box myself.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I love how you do all this. Hey, East Coast Honors. Okay, we decided there's an order to this, and since Jenny and I got the 2 Sandman runs, we're gonna do those. And then the guys each got custom made ones.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna explain kind of how there's a process to those as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Once we get to you guys' boxes, I'll explain custom boxes and how they are greatly different.
And since we have so many people in here, I don't usually go into solo layouts, but I'm going to do that so I can show off the stuff. And because I'm going to go first, and I need to cut it one piece of tape here. I thought I had it. John robbed a tape store recently.
Yeah. So
And
I reached out to a bunch of like these weird like I don't know if you know like Alibaba.com and things like that. Those little like direct from the factory distributors.
Yep.
I had reached out to a bunch of them, and I had said, hey, I send out a lot of packages fairly regularly. I would like to work with your company. And then the first time I got a hold of a small-time company that, like, they had never worked with anybody before. You can tell they were fairly new to that being in the fold. They reached out to me, and they were like, yes, we would love to do a sponsorship with you. And I was like, oh, that really wasn't what I was looking for, but sure, what do you mean by sponsorship? Basically, as long as I just use their tape, they're going to keep sending me it by the case. So I'm going to keep wrapping every package in as much possible tape as possible. We may all get some kind of weird virus that we may not know about, and I'm not even entirely sure what country it comes from. So once you get some customs, they stick a weird white label over it, so I don't even know what country it's coming from. But yeah, it's going to be good for everybody. If we all go down, we all go down.
we've got Yakuza tape, guys, which the people will get.
This could be just a front for them to smuggle in just mass quantities of cocaine. But again, the tape is free, so I'm okay.
All right. Okay, I think I got enough of it open. I'm gonna go over and show. And
hurry up!
God damn. Sorry,
I know. Anticipating. Let's see that art, damn it.
You know what's crazy is that like I've shown people in the past with the tape, like I can open that package in like 15 seconds, and it's not me just like Hulk ripping it open, but it's just because I know how the tape went on there, and so
yeah,
it's like, how the hell do you open it then? It's just like 4 cuts, and the whole package will come undone. But
if you don't do it right, it's gonna damage goddamn art that you don't care about, but we do.
I know, but you're going to get some more in there. I promise you. Every package comes with it because I cannot stop drawing. It's all I do. You're going to get more.
Okay. All right. I'm going. Okay. On my outside packaging, there's one I can't show you. It's Jack Skellington, and I set him over there, and he's stuck to something right now because of the tape. But I had a nice little Daredevil on the side. He knows I'm a horror fan, so I got
nice.
With a little thing talking all about how hard it is to open up the boxes due to the new tape, it being a game in itself. And then, as it is a Sandman comic, we got the Sandman.
I mean, I'm no Neil Gaiman. I took my best shot at it.
So then we get to, I unwrap that, and now we have this. And some turtles.
Oh, I forgot it.
Yeah, that is amazing.
I got some turtles.
That started out as being like a part of. I was trying to do a recreation of the movie poster from the first Ninja Turtles movie, where it's all 4 of them trying to fight their way out and like get their own position underneath the manhole cover.
Hell yeah!
And the whole city that I did afterwards, I realized I was headed laying down, and so it's all crooked. And so I was just like, ah. So I just said, the turtles came out of it. I just cut them.
Yeah, the turtles say you're almost to the good stuff.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Most of my packaging is a nice blend of really pandering, like sarcastic commentary mixed with very enthusiastic encouragement. Like, I want you to know that we're all rooting for you, but at the same time, I want you to know that everybody is waiting.
Come on, Carrie.
Okay. I'm
You
getting
can
there,
do
dude. Wait till you get to yours, Jeremy.
Oh,
Okay, we
please.
have the free stickers.
Oh yeah, everybody
Do I
gets
have
stickers.
them back here?
And usually that's the big showy of my gimmick thing. If the artwork that you have doesn't have major gimmick, your stickers definitely will. I think these ones are thermal reactive. So like if you put these against something cold or you put them in a room that the ambient temperature gets below 65 degrees, they'll change color.
Let's hang out for a second. Oh. We have Juggernaut.
Ooh,
And Colossus.
Nice,
Very cool.
nice.
This is just, it's still, guys, I'm still just getting to the box. I'm doing my best.
live.
It takes a minute or two.
It does take a little time if you try and salvage the art. If
Well-
you're not like me, that's just like, screw this, and just cuts through everything, like, yeah, you're definitely gonna.
Well, John, now that you've got a tape sponsor, it's time to get a box sponsor so you can get like really creative.
Oh man, if I could find just anybody, like, I will take like the lost city of hobos cardboard dispensary.
Right?
They're so goddamn expensive. That's why
Oh, I hear you, man.
like Gemini mailers are like $2 a piece.
People don't understand that part about shipping out comics. Well, with any kind of shipping out business, the packaging alone is ridiculous.
Right.
I feel like a human leather like kind of wrapping would be less expensive.
Oh my god, it would be less expensive. The big advantage is
Yeah, and you can locally source it.
I work at farm stable. I work at a department store in my daytime job, so I have the advantage of working on a dock where they go through about 4,000 cardboard boxes a day and mass amounts of bubble wrap. So I make sure to steal all of that before I leave work.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize like a Gemini mailer is literally just a box put together, and while you cut the four corners and turn it around, and that is a Gemini mailer. So I just would rather build Gemini mailers than ever fucking pay $2 for a box that's cut on all four corners and turn around.
Okay. Now I've got my letter. And here's,
we have to be able to read.
You do have to be.
Nobody told me we had to be able to read.
So hard.
There is a small literacy requirement.
Shit.
But I think you can just find books, literacy implied.
I mean, maybe the pictures. They make up their own story.
They are picture books, so.
I need to figure out which direction I'm going at in here.
Flip the top
okay.
over, and it'll tell you which side it is. I try and make sure I always stack them in order.
I have Just Imagine 6, a DC Comics publication featuring a total remaining of the Green Lantern lore, origin, etc., actually written by Stan Lee in the Marvel style.
Oh, it's an awesome series. Stan crossed the lines and went over to DC and wrote an entire series, but in typical Stan Lee style, he literally said, "I'll do it, but you're going to put my name on every page."
Nice.
Next, I have DC Showcase 65, which is an obvious parody of Marvel's X-Men. At this time period, the X-Men were becoming a Marvel flagship property. First appearance of Dean Egghead, the Ape, Basilisk, Icarus, Levitation Lass, and Winter Wonderland.
I love this time period in comics. It was I guess 1990s professional wrestling. Like every company had to take shots at the other one. They couldn't just be their own entity. DC would just take 6 writers from Marvel, and then the next book they put out would just be them just shitting all over an entire Marvel property. And then Marvel would do the exact same thing the next month.
That is epic.
Next, we have Morbius, number 25. First appearance of the Blood Leader. First appearance of Mouth. First appearance of Lena Ivana. And this issue masks the chance marks the chance from a superhero-style comic book back to the Bronze Age-style horror comics, with Morbius taking on the Dracula role.
Yeah, it was a great time period when they realized that they didn't own Dracula anymore, but they had Morbius, so why not?
It's got to be better than the movie.
I mean,
Robbie Ray's Ghost Rider number 5, Venomized variant featuring a Venom Ghost Rider hybrid.
Interesting.
That was such a good run when they first came out with those Venomized covers.
All right.
Understand
I have
there's
something extra in here.
So on occasion, oh yeah, if you have something extra in there, that's probably because I built your box at like 2 a.m. Just keep that in mind.
Okay, well, this one isn't listed. I have the next one listed, but this one, I have the Suicide Squad.
So that is actually the first appearance of the Suicide Squad as you see them in the movies. That was Amanda Waller's type. Like, there's a first appearance of the quote-unquote modern Suicide Squad, but it really wasn't like the Suicide Squad that you saw in the films. That the New 52 was the first launch of that style Suicide Squad.
Who was that first character in the middle, Carrie?
Is it the woman?
Amanda
Waller.
Oh yeah, that's Amanda Waller, just looking like all different kinds of
Butch Amanda Waller, nice.
Yeah.
She got a New 52 makeover like nobody's business. Like, she was the fattest old frumpy woman for the longest time.
Yeah.
And next we have Fantastic Four 176, which has the first appearance of
the Impossible
Woman, and a cameo appearance of both Jack Kirby and Stan Lee.
Nice.
So that one also has a fun note with it, where you find out that the Impossible Man and Mr. Mxyzptlk are the same person. He does the exact same thing over in DC, where he says like, "Oh, I have to go visit these 4 idiots over in this other universe," and then he just like disappears through the wall, and you see him like changing green in the frame. And this one here, he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "There's this super dork I have to go visit in this other world," and you see him putting on a top hat, and he goes to leave, and you find that that's how you find out the Impossible Man. He's one of those characters that bounces between worlds, and obviously DC and Marvel are two completely different universes. He would have to be two different people.
That is some great comic trivia.
Next is What If number 95, first appearance of Barbara Ketch as Ghost Rider.
Nice.
Next we have Justice League of America number 27. The cover of the issue is an homage to the film The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
Your tubular bells playing.
Look at that. Yeah. Very cool.
That's gorgeous.
And that was the one that didn't make notes of the homages. Like, now that would have its own month dedicated to it. But back then they just kind of did it just to do it.
Okay, this one. I got to get down my list here. Justice League of America, number 27. Oh, no, wait, that's what I just read. No, this is New Avengers 9, the first appearance of the Black Order of a cult of aliens from different societies and planets that Thanos has conquered, and they now operate as henchmen, calling themselves the Children of Thanos.
Which, if you watch the Marvel movies and you watch the Infinity War, Infinity Endgame, and I mean, they're just those creepy people that follow Thanos and get smoked in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Spirits of Vengeance number 4, rare newsstand variant. At this time in comics, only 1% of each issue's total print were newsstand variants.
Oh wow.
Next. Oh, this is gorgeous. Avengers number 363. It's the first cameo appearance of Deathcry and the first appearance of Ute. Is it Ute? I don't know how to show this really.
Foil embossed.
Yes.
Dissension.
That's
awesome. It is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
And this Immortal She-Hulk #1.
One of the
Jen
times.
Walters realizes that realizes that due to her She-Hulk abilities, she also cannot die. Alex Ross 1 in 15 is timeless
I
variant.
thought that was an Alex Ross.
Oh yeah, I mean you can always tell when it's just like they were standing in front of him waiting for him to finish painting it.
Oh, I didn't know they did an Immortal She-Hulk run.
That actually just came out not that long ago. I'd say within the last year or so.
Was it just a one shot, or did they do a whole series?
No, so it was the launch of the new She-Hulk run, but it initiated as Immortal She-Hulk, and then I think they just kind of dropped it. But I think it was a short run of like 4 or 5 issues.
Okay.
Okay, then we have Fathom Core 1.
Oh, okay. I
That's
was
a
Gorgeous.
cool cover.
Alex Ross Virgin variant, only 200 ever made, signed by story artist Alex Cornett.
Yep.
Cornett?
So those were, if you were part of the Kickstarter for the launch of that title, then
There's a
they
CD
would like
picture.
this, that's here, blah blah blah. And one of them was to receive that book there, signed by Alex Cornett, who writes all the story and does all the story art for Fathom since Michael Turner is no longer there to do so. Yeah, he signed a random assortment of variants that were printed up, and they only printed up 200 of them.
Nice.
I'm glad that I have one of them. And this one is Avengers number 213. Is good of a.
Oh, when Yellow Jacket was smacking Janet around.
Yeah, historically impactful issue depicting an A-list level hero committing an act of domestic violence as Hank Pym slaps Janet Van Dyne. This was never supposed to happen, as there was a miscommunication between Stan Lee and the artists. By the time the mistake was noticed, the issue was already on shelves, and with no way to walk the events back, Marvel would take the opportunity to have a more serious and comprehensive conversation about both mental health and domestic violence.
Yep. So that was I went to a panel that Bob Layton, Zach, and a few other guys had done, and someone had brought that issue up, and they were like, "Yeah, this was never supposed to happen." Stan went on vacation and left a message for the artist to put that he was supposed to like almost hit her and move past it and just be like, "Oh, well, you almost did it." And the artist just took it as like, "Yeah, he's supposed to backhand the shit out of her." And by the time he got back, the issue had already been published and put out, and they were like, "Well, we're going to look stupid if we try and completely retract it now." And so it became like a major point in comic book history.
Okay, and now I'm supposed to take all these out together, correct?
Yes, so it's a set.
Yes.
Yeah, so
silverback set had this on the front of it.
I try and include sets in every box. There's not a guarantee that it's always going to happen, but like if I have a bunch of like little runs or full stories, something like that, I try and include them just because, like I said, the main goal here is to get people introduced into stuff, something that they are not familiar with.
Carrie, that was Mephisto?
Yes, that was a Mephisto piece.
Yep.
You ever try and draw Mephisto? It's fucking impossible because he always looks like a monkey at the end. So that's why he ended up as boss art.
He doesn't in this one. I can't. I don't know if the problem with reflection is he can't show, but I don't think he looks very monkeyish in that. I think he looks very good. So this is what was included in the set here, and I have a lot of Blade, and we have in order. This should be the first appearance of
you got
Raucus Bitsy. And then there's the first appearance of Fofo.
That has explicit content.
So yeah, that was the whole run of Blade that they put on the Marvel Max run. Which Marvel Max appearance? Marvel After Dark.
Marvel After
First
Dark.
appearance. Oh, this is okay. The first appearance of the Theodore family, and this is the complete set of all the different ones of them. So I'll keep just showing the rest of them real quick. Oh, I can put the other down. This one. Oh my gosh, there's 2 more stuff. I'm just like, I can't stop opening comics.
Carrie's like, fresh reading, yes!
Yes! These guys know. Yesterday I read
She'll
entire
be done in an
Planetary.
hour.
I got your list of
That's
like
beautiful.
in the Marvel Ultimate Universe, and it was mind blowing that you could actually get all of that into like at any point in time reading all of that.
For real, right?
Oh, I did all of Planetary in one day, and then no, it was Brandon told me like, oh, did you read the crossovers? And I was like, no, and so I did that in like an hour and a half. But I did the entire Injustice universe in 3 days.
If you really want to mess with your brain, read the entire Amalgam run.
I'm working for that, but you're gonna have to help me get it because I already talked with Brandon. It's like impossible.
I have the entire collection of Amalgam and Marvel vs. DC. Every Marvel DC crossover I have in my collection, as they fascinate me. And the Amalgam run is probably one of the greatest things of the 90s ever produced.
I want to read it, so we're going to be getting in touch. And Brandon, haha, look, somebody has all of it already for me. I don't have to look anywhere. I already made that connection. And you know how I made that connection? I made that connection through comic book sellers buy, sell, and trade. Or comic book lovers buy, sell, and trade. That is,
I know that place.
Somebody, there's this guy. I don't know.
I've heard of that place.
Doesn't some guy like Mike Wright run that place?
Might have a hand in something with that.
It is a fantastic group. It's just so overwhelmingly big at this point that like there's so.
Oh,
many
it is.
there.
And Facebook is fucking with people really bad. They're like, people are getting these like 6-day bans for Facebook for weird.
But I mean, part of it, while some of it's unjust, I mean, you got to look at it. Part of it is just these same guys that post their same shit sales every day. They're like, no, it's going to be new stuff. They put like 2 new books. Like, congratulations that you found $1 bin. You stop by and grab 2 new books, put in there. But you're also putting the same 75 shit books that you couldn't sell in the last one. And it just fills up the feed. It kind of kills people, their chance of getting their sales seen because it's the same guys posting over and over and over again. So, like, those bands, they suck. But at the same time, like, I kind of get it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm
there?
packing everything away very safely so that nothing. I had to rebubble wrap everything.
So we're opening our whole box.
Yes, yes, we're opening our whole box at a time.
We're going to be here for 9 hours.
Because there's a theme. Okay,
I thought we were going to do 1 book at a time each. Huh.
No, because there's different amounts of books per person, and that would just be really annoying.
I love that.
As this box, that would be impossible for everybody to keep up with.
It's true Christmas for every kid. It has to unwrap a single present to get pictures, and then it goes. Then mom and dad have to open one, and then there's another round. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fighting for attention.
Yeah, and the last person that still has a package for Christmas wins Christmas. Right? You guys did.
I had twins at the house today. I had to give them toys just so they would chill the fuck out.
Because of like the super 90s vibes I got talking like X-Men 96 and everything with John, I went out and bought something special for myself to enjoy during the show. I have not had a Black and Mild in a very, very long time, right? And I thought 90s, I needed something else to smoke that wasn't usual, so I went out and got a Black and Mild Casino today.
Ooh, I was going to say it was the Black and Mild Jazz, but yeah.
It's the Casino. It's smoother, man. I don't know why, but it is.
They put in that blue paper and it just makes you love it that much more.
Yep, and it tastes like the 90s. It still tastes like the 90s, too. Great.
Because they made all
who I was hanging out with today.
Made in the 90s.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to keep the show rolling. We're going to go over to Jeremy. Quit talking. We're going to go over to Jenny.
Silence, peasants.
Shut up, Jeremy. I'm forgetting the names.
I know he wrote stuff on the blue packaging, but by the time I got it, it's all rubbed up. So I've opened it down to here, and look at this amazing artwork. Juggernaut.
Nice.
Batman and the Joker.
Oh, that's what your package said. Your package said, I'll pick her a winner. What do you think, Bats? When he's got the knife in his mouth.
I'm pretty sure you have. Oh, and this thing I love. He is amazing.
Oh.
I'm amazed that this is the throwaway art.
Yeah.
What's
I
the good art
laminated
look like?
I know.
I wanted to keep it forever. And of course, Thanos.
Ooh,
Nice.
awesome.
Bullshit.
Stickers, I think. That is cool.
Oh yeah. Those are thermal stickers for sure.
And there's a letter in here somewhere, apparently. I just have to find it. And these are awesome. And thanks to Nurses Week, they give us new shears.
Nice. Those things will cut through anything.
Got some surgical precision going on.
I hope nobody minds. I took off my pants for this show.
Wait,
That
you were
is
supposed to do
absolutely
that?
fine.
Jeremy,
I don't think half of us do.
Is there
I usually insist that Jeremy take his pants off.
It is friggin' hot up here.
I'm watching her doing surgery to this box, and my brain's just going surgery, surgery, and then I'm singing the song about the little, the little vial.
I just watched the latter two. Well, I watched Yellow Jackets season 2 episode up through 7 last night. So
I just picked up.
What do you think of it?
surgery.
I just picked up the show for the first time, season 1. I'm about to start watching it this week.
Ooh. Oh,
It's
you
a great show.
bonk
It's
again?
weird.
I really liked season 1, but I gotta say, by the 3rd episode of season 2, they lost me.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Gotcha.
Oh.
I'll keep that in mind when I'm going through because I'm about to start episode 1 tomorrow.
It's some weird stuff. It does go on and off the.
Captain
Oh,
Spock.
nice.
Epic.
Captain Howdy.
Ooh.
Do I look
Oh, I
fucking
like that
funny?
one.
Ooh,
And then, of course, one of my favorites.
that is gorgeous.
You just sit here and
Oh,
drool.
wow. There's even more.
Oh yeah.
I think it's supposed to go together, actually.
Yeah, so that's a piece
Oh,
that's
see, it's an Al Jaffe.
once you close the box. Once you close the flap, it should stick together.
There we go.
Oh, nice. Voltron.
I'm going to have to
There you go.
transfer them and hope I don't lose them.
And his own homemade Gemini.
That's right. Thank you, Big Lots.
If there's a letter, I've yet to find it. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sure you'll come across it at some point, tucked in there with stuff.
Yes. Holy cow. Okay.
Wait a second. Did you get a back pocket on your box,
I have,
of books?
yeah, there's
Go ahead. I will have you know that those are all packed at random, but
okay.
Oh, Spider Woman.
Ooh.
It's awesome.
Spider Girl, the blue window.
Okay.
What is that?
is that came in its own little side pouch, right?
There's multiple pouches.
Well, but that one that's in your hand right there, that one in the Mylar bag, those were all by themselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're on top. Would it be in that?
Go ahead, open them up, enjoy.
Okay.
Oh my God, did she get it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, honey.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
You won.
I won. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Trying
good.
not to lose all this.
So I knew when I saw the Voltron piece there that was the dead giveaway. So I remember putting it on that box. But yeah, enjoy.
Oh,
She won
Sandman.
the first
Oh, wow.
6 issues of the original Sandman, guys.
There's some Jack Kirby right there.
So
You
that
have
is
no idea how grateful I am.
That is the original
that's pretty
Volume
cool.
1 Sandman, as well as the purple issue 1 variant.
Oh wow.
Oh, and a purple issue 1 variant.
So that's
Very cool.
in somewhere in the range of about $175 to $200.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
These are gorgeous.
Don't open those.
Yeah, read those online.
Or with a bag of Cheetos.
Morse Jr,
No.
Loves me.
here in
The
2018,
Cheeto boy is not touching anything.
I watched a CGC grader literally flipping through an Amazing Fantasy 15 with a bag of open Cheetos directly next to him. I almost went through the table and punched the guy.
Yes. He deserved to be punched in the face.
That's
That Batman punching Robin meme.
oh, it would have been way worse because there would have been so many sound effects that had to go along with the slaps.
Oh yeah.
Kazow!
And I would have written them all out for you.
So enjoy your win because that was a one
Yeah.
of 25 boxes right there.
That's pretty exciting.
Being able to be part of this is a win. That is epic right there.
She's like, but you gotta show us the rest too.
I'm working on it.
And that was the other thing that I always seemed to do when I did like retail
Yeah,
boxes.
there's-
I found that the guys who did retail boxes that weren't all like clone boxes, when you won, then you would just get a box with like one book in it. And that, while I mean it's great that you won, you got the chase that was out there. It was also kind of shit if you wanted to open a box. I always aim to make sure that every box is kind of like when you were a kid and you got mail and that level of excitement mixed with the excitement of like if you ever bought a pack of baseball cards and you wanted to like open that up and go through it. Which if you opened a pack of baseball cards and there was one card in there, it doesn't matter if it was like a Babe Ruth. It's one card. Like you don't get to flip through anything, and that kind of sucks. So I made sure that even if you won, you were still getting a box with it that was going to be just like the rest.
And I very
That
much
is good.
appreciate that. Little piece of artwork here. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Again,
It's okay. We got the tapes for it.
I don't want to hurt the artwork.
Like I always hear that, and it always kills me because I know that like I appreciate it, and I appreciate the fact that there's people out there that appreciate my work. But at the same time, I'm always just like, I stuck it on there for a reason. Just cut through it.
Damn it, John. We're poor. We like to have your cast-offs. Okay.
I had a friend of mine actually ask me today. He's like, "You stick all these shit to boxes. Could you just send me them first, and I'll just flip through them, and then we'll go from there." I'm like, I'm not. No, because then I will have nothing to stick back.
Okay. I
We
think
start
I'm
getting
gonna
little
go
stick
there.
figures. We know something's wrong.
I mean, I tend most of the time when I'm just messing with people, like if people buy art from me, and then their box comes in and it has stick figures on it, they make them so uncomfortable, so nervous. So like, did I get scammed? Why would you do such shit art on the outside of the box so people can see it?
Okay.
There's your letter.
Finally. And it's okay. Just so you can.
Oh yeah,
Shine.
lots of shiny stuff.
I'm hoping that's not too much. I'm just losing daylight. Okay. Tales of the Unexpected 3. The backup story in this book, Dr. 13 discovers a small militia that has separated from Gorilla City due to them being a Nazi hate group.
Oh yeah, Nazi fucking gorilla army. So obviously I love anything gorillas. And so when I find gorilla keynotes like that, they go into every box.
Okay. There we go. Raven 1, first appearance of Raven's extended family and the Sons of Trigon.
Oh, it's a new series. It's actually a really good series.
Okay. Spectacular Spider-Man 115, Doctor Strange learns that the symbiote suit is immune to hex magic it is revealed that Black Spider suit feeds on Peter's anger.
Or sweet dance moves if you're Tobey Maguire.
Damn straight.
There we go, I think. Avengers 207, first appearance of Berserker, and the first appearance of Shadow Lord.
Oh, cool.
My husband's going to want to see that. Okay. Secret War. Lady Octopus joins the Van Veradas and becomes the leader of a team of driven villains. Ooh.
I come from that 90s era too. Shiny makes me go, oh.
Oh yeah, every time.
Doctor Strange. First appearance of Watum. Sirius sacrifices himself to save Stephen Strange. No! You are not escaping. Okay. Avengers 500. First time Wanda loses control of her anger, and lashes out. First appearance of Hex, Magic, and Death Vision.
Yeah, that's the show WandaVision was focused a lot on that disassembled series.
I know
Very
this
cool.
one.
Justice League of America 69. First cover appearance of Doomsday in spacesuit. Very rare. Third printing. Less than 2,000 exist.
Yeah, the late printings in those 90 books are actually way harder to get hold of than first printing.
DC Comics presents 23. First appearance of El Muchacho.
El Muchacho. It's like saying that.
Nothing says
Yeah,
he's
it sounds fun.
like old race.
The Man Thing. Man Thing is teleported to
You have a beautiful man thing.
insisting that the Abominable Snowman is actually a lost man thing. And according to the H. Dunn, he can teleport. So let's find out. Ooh. Lady Death. Past Rights 2. First appearance of Grimoire. Sanctity. Lady Death becomes Grimoire and Sanctity. Lady Death becomes human again.
That is amazing. I was just trying to teach Matt about Lady Death because we actually found a Lady Death skin to download for the new WWE 2K23. So like out of nowhere, I thought, holy shit, is that Lady Death?
Yes, it's epic. The New Mutants, 45. Hard to find newsstand variant, 2%. The overall print runs are newsstands. Specialty Border series that celebrates Marvel's 25th anniversary. Mighty controversial issue. Kitty Pryde using many and multiple racial slurs and speech to show how much mutants hate oppresses.
So there was like a time period where Kitty Pryde just couldn't stop saying things that were super, super racist. But she was trying to make the example that like mutants are treated like black people were, which is exactly the parallels that Stan Lee was trying to draw when he created the X-Men. However, when Chris Claremont took over, he was like, but we're going to make Kitty Pryde say it out loud. A lot.
Poor Kitty.
There were so many N-bombs.
And those covers bring me back with the extra images on the side. That I guess that was the 25th anniversary run covers were really just instantaneously brought me back.
They're so much fun.
Batgirl 25. First appearance of Grotesque Milton cardstock variant.
Very nice.
Ooh. Justice League Dark 1.
Nice.
First official team appearance of Justice League Dark, a whole supernatural branch of the Justice League that is led by Zatanna and Constantine. If you can't tell by I love her and Constantine.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic characters. And the fact that they didn't let Batman touch it for the longest time was actually great. Because DC doesn't have a single property that he doesn't have his Batman's stuff directly into.
Yeah, he just appears everywhere.
He's the
Battering.
Okay. And the next complete set volume, first and only Dead Men property in history to have absolutely nothing to do with creator Neil Adams, Silverback set.
Oh yeah, so Neil Adams. I don't know if anybody's ever had the pleasure of meeting him. Man's great.
He's a wonderful man.
He was absolutely fantastic. His ego, however, could not be contained. He would go to every convention he was at. He would have the same table space as every other artist around him, but somehow
The battleship.
he managed to have
Yeah.
9,000 like tables stacked on top of each other to create like these pillars of Neil all around him. Like he would just do such a grand everything. But he was truly amazing. He was a great guy.
Number
Yeah.
1. I think you can
He did a small watercolor for my son of Captain America for free.
Right.
I almost peed myself when I saw him.
Jenny, are
doing
you
that.
a
I was just
Boston
like,
Brand fan?
I ain't got that money.
Jenny, are you a Boston Brand fan?
If you don't know a whole lot about Dead Man, this series will actually tell you way more about him than any of like Strange Tales or any of his stuff before this. Unfortunately, because of Neil's gigantic ego, he would also assume that because he created something, everybody else in the world would already know about it. So he wasn't great on backstory. He was great at writing like stories that were taking place in the moment. He's actually the guy who wrote the infamous heroine story with Green Arrow.
Yeah.
But he was very, very bad at writing origin stories. So this volume, even though it's his creation, had nothing to do with him and told you way more about him than you'll ever learn from anything Neil wrote.
Awesome. I am actually pretty new to wanting to read more into the various comic book worlds. I have had a very hard to get to books and social media up until I reached my 23.
Yep.
So
We will help that.
I appreciate that.
There's a few channels, like you can always go onto like YouTube. Like I have some friends of mine that have a few different channels, like Variant Comics, and like Comic Storian. Like those guys, like if you're not huge on like sitting down and reading comics, those are guys that'll get you into like certain stories because they do just these dramatic readings or like these synopsis of these different stories that will basically not tell you everything, but tell you enough to get you roped in.
Yeah, I'm going to back you up on that one, John. Yeah, if you ever go on a road trip or anything for over like 15 or 20 minutes, you throw on Comic Storian in the background. It's great. They just tell you the whole story. They give it to you in a theatric way. It's usually pretty fun to enjoy. So.
He's one of my favorite people. I see him at pretty much every big con. And I just sit there and I'll make him just say things in that ridiculous, like every voice that he does, I just throw words at him that I can think of that I think would sound funny. And that's how I get through a lot of lines at conventions.
Nice.
Is he going to be at Terrificon?
I don't think so. I think at this point, he really only goes to cons if it's going to be like a bunch of people there that he wants to see. Like, I think the last one he did was T2E2 2019. And I mean, that was a pretty big disaster for a lot of people because it was like everybody got COVID, the pre-edition. But I mean, he does show up every now and then. Like, he doesn't really announce where he goes places. He just kind of shows up.
Okay.
Who's up next?
Okay,
Tom's turn.
It is Tom's turn, and now we get to stop and go.
All right, hurry up, Tom.
Here's the deal.
I'm gonna try to go as fast as I can because I'm like halfway at battery life on my phone.
Oh no!
Patience
Yeah.
of a student, by the way.
So yeah, I grabbed this one off. It says "fucking prude" on it. I think that's a sticker.
So
and everything.
that was
So
there. I had to come up with something instead of the dirty joke.
Front of the box, we got a Ghost Rider.
Nice.
On the front.
$10 says that close in the dark.
And on the other side, we got the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, nice.
So that is really, really awesome.
Smash that box.
I am going to try as best as I can not to interfere with the artwork.
I promise you my feelings won't be hurt if you cut the art.
Safety first.
I feel like John is trying to tell us to just cut through the art. We're just like, no.
That's my finger.
And for all of the guys,
I know, I lost my
guys,
finger now.
Oh no!
Acting.
Everyone except for Jeremy went through a screening process of a trial of questions.
Yes.
Uh,
Which I got to talk to you guys. A lot of people don't realize, like, those surveys that you did, I was telling you guys kind of off camera earlier, like, it's a two-part system. The survey that I send you, one, is to see if you guys will actually do them. Because if you won't do them, chances are then I'm going to be much more generic in the boxes that you get. But if you will do them, then afterwards we'll have a conversation where I try and casually work in the facts that you gave me in those surveys into the conversation so I can hear you kind of elaborate more, because a lot of people don't realize comic books can tell you a whole lot about a person's personality. The initial questions, like, are you a Marvel or you're a DC guy? If you're a Marvel guy, chances are you probably are one of those people that works better in teams. You're one of those people that has to have a group around you at all points in time when you're doing just about anything, be it social or work related or anything like that. And DC people are the opposite. They're very self-motivated. They're very individual goals, self-goals, things like that. And that's because it ties back to the same source. DC's stories up until the Bronze Age of comics were all individual stories that never crossed over, never tied together, never met each other. Marvel has been from the onset, then everybody lives in the same world and everybody runs into each other. So everything is going to be a cohesive effort. If you read that and you click with that more, chances are you probably are that type of personality. So like those survey questions, I tell people, I know some of them seem fucking weird, but they are honestly like, they do help me when I'm building the box.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think I got it. Yep, I got it. So
I think you lied to us, Tom. You said fast.
got some more. We got some more characters.
Oh,
this
don't break it.
Yes.
He's going to be most confused at first, and
I'm already liking what I'm looking.
everything is going to be like Rich. Because while you think it's the most obvious,
see, I'm trying my best not to ruin this because I'm going to
that's pretty.
spruce it up later so that I can save the artwork and put it on my naked wall. Okay. Okay, we have Batman and Robin on the front of it.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Very cool.
Which is very awesome. And on the back of it, I think this is Solomon Grundy.
Great Hulk.
Yeah, that's Great Hulk. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Fix It.
Close.
I just want to show
See, I'm not really familiar with Grey Hulk. So
that's a fantastic run, man. Joe Fix is one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time.
And the Hulk was originally gray when he first was created, but because of printing issues, they had to turn him to green.
Yep. Yeah. It's actually a big reason why, like, a lot of companies will buy out other comic companies because their color spectrums are just.
I gotta save that artwork as well.
Yep.
Too. There we go. Okay.
Everybody's such a good art saver.
I know. Honest, I feel kind of bad. Next time I'm gonna start just making it very easy to remove all the artwork.
And I have some more artwork.
I told you.
Oh yeah, you actually have art.
That's pretty cool.
The best part, I don't think Tom can hear us as well as we can hear him. So
I have a.
It's almost like he doesn't know we're talking.
Comic book holders, and I have Superman with heat vision.
Oh, sweet!
Oh, very nice piece.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's really awesome. And I have a picture here of Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, bloody.
That is a really nice one.
Yeah,
get frames for these, I'm sure. And we have a Star Wars picture here, Kylo Ren.
More a fan.
That looks really good.
Ooh.
That one is really good. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so now we have the main attraction.
The girls are all using scissors. The guys are like, I got a fucking box cutter. I'm just gonna rip this shit open.
You're lucky. Like most of the guys that I know that it Yeah, I've got this machete turned out back.
I also do unboxings on my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
And
Which
everything,
is
so-
what, Tom? What's the name of your
So-
YouTube channel, Tom?
So that is pretty
It's in,
cool.
it's in the links. So
Up above and down below?
up above and down below, depending on where you're watching.
Okay, a small selection pulled
Yeah, picking
from
up things.
own personal collection. Okay. So
If he sent you Nick your pictures, you have to show them.
Hey, the whole one is just for him. Don't worry, you get yours too.
Yeah.
I
I'm
got
there.
this PDF link going on.
I put my pants back on.
ow!
Why?
I just punched.
It got
no, I'm fine.
cooler
I
in
punched
here.
the edge of the table.
That was my first injury of PPE.
You know, just getting the plastic off. But every time seeing me in pain or something like that always does good for ratings. Did a wrestling show once when I was in cable access, really quick, and did a spot where I got my head put through a wall,
Ouch.
Jesus.
and it was awesome. It was awesome, and the thing is, we weren't supposed to. That spot wasn't supposed to happen, but.
So it's a
to
real
this day,
wall.
everyone's still talking about it whenever I'm in town, in my old town of Waterbury, Connecticut. Oh,
I
right.
used to work in Waterbury.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
What
Good
store?
old Slaughterbury. I drove an ambulance there.
Yeah. What store?
No, actually, I drove an ambulance for AMR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
which driving an ambulance in Waterbury is about as fun as you think it is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. We got some Star Wars comics to show off. This one is
Do you have a letter?
Come on, Tom.
Flip stack
I
over.
don't seem to I can't seem to find it.
Flip the stack. It should be there. It's the thing that
On the
doesn't look
back?
like an envelope. Oh, no. Open up the package with the foam.
Oh, open up the package with the phone. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where your envelope is
I
hidden.
might as well show off
Good thing we have
the
John here.
artwork on the phone, which is
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Hello.
Shiloki. Shaloki.
Shaloki.
Yeah, I can totally see why you threw that one away.
All right, so that one, I drew her nose funny. I didn't like it, and so she got stuck on the boxes.
Hey, that's like a Seinfeld thing. Oh, her feet are weird.
Yeah, I know. Some of the stuff I'm just like, you know. I know that someone will point it out. I also have a couple of incredibly hypercritical friends that when I show them stuff, they're like, what's with her nose? So it'll just, like, stick with me, and I'm like, God damn it. And then it'll just get pissed off with stuff.
Fair enough.
Okay.
We benefit, so we aren't going to bitch.
See, I'm trying my best not to ruin that picture. That's a really nice one. And
So when we do open ours, we open the like Gemini.
yeah,
kind of box
I used
first.
to work in logistics, so
Also, just take as long as possible
this
because
is-
I know that
this is
Rich
actually
has been
feeling like
waiting to
home.
open his.
Son of a bitch.
I know that Rich was just dying to open his for the longest time. So if you want to stretch this out, take as long as possible because I know he's up next.
Well, I'll
just
spare you
like,
all this
God
extra
damn it.
time, guys, because mine's already broken down into components. I have not looked at anything, but it's already broken down into components.
Oh, you're pretty smart there.
So, Jay, getting everything done okay.
that's the cleanup here.
Yeah, that's the downside. Every box you get from me, you have like 4 trash bags worth of garbage to get rid of afterwards.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got the letter.
There you go.
There we go. Ugh. Wow. A lot. Okay. Let's see. And let's see. All right. Okay. So the silver back box. Okay. And we'll start off with Blackest Night Superman number 3. Connor Kent Superboy is revealed to have psychic powers, and Psycho Pirate's mask is destroyed. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
So most of the boxes
Yeah,
that I
mess
do are
over
usually
here.
Marvel, like Marvel heavy, because most of the guys that order boxes are like Marvel fans. So you guys gave me a lot of DC answers, so it was a pleasant change of pace.
Yeah, we're a bunch of loners.
Up next is Avengers 202. Ultron takes over Tony Stark by planting a virus in his armor's main CPU.
Yeah, that was a very weird.
And next we have Uncanny X-Men issue 299. First appearance of Grey Dawn, Creed's son of Sabretooth, who is a very public anti-mutant bigot, as well as being a high-ranking member of the Redeemers.
Oh yeah.
And then
The piece of shit.
They hate my dad.
DC Comics presents 62. The Freedom Fighters come to Earth Earth 1 to stop a group of neo-Nazis who literally were the reason for Earth X to fall to the Nazis.
Yeah, which if you're not a big reader, like Earth X
Superman
is like if the
also
Nazis
on the
won
cover
World
as
War
well.
II.
Okay. Up
We have
next,
too many
we
comics
have
experts on at once.
Batman, Hellboy, and Starman number 2.
Oh, Drew would love that.
Man.
The Joker is revealed a member of the Thule Society's Knights of October branch.
Nice.
Gonna say Drew was invited, but he had shit going on, so.
Ooh, this is gonna be a must read. Savage Avengers number 1, first cover appearance of the Savage Avengers,
Conan?
first cameo appearance of Morrow God.
Oh yeah, Savage
That's a
Avengers
cool
is a great
fucking
one.
cover.
That is a really badass cover. That needs to be on the t-shirt.
Yeah. Crom.
Up next, we have Web of Spider-Man number 24. First cameo appearance of Eddie Brock.
Nice.
Did not know that.
And up next, we have Gotham by Gaslight. Hard to find first printing. Batman battles Jack the Ripper.
Nice.
If you've never read
That's
that, that's
a
a fantastic story.
Great Elseworld story.
Love Jack the Ripper. Just finished From Hell.
Also, we have the Avengers 219, Origin of Moondragon is revealed, and Origin of Drax retold.
Nice.
That is really cool. Next, we have Superman issue 81, first appearance and debut
I
of
love that
Superman's
costume.
black suit.
Black Suit Superman.
Black suit
that
Superman
costume.
is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I
Bring
think
on the
any
mullet.
superhero with a black suit is awesome.
The
Like,
second, no, that's how you
Spider-Man.
make him.
I
That's how you make
go
him a
gaga
badass.
over that one.
That was it. You gave him a black suit. You're like, oh well, now he's going to be totally badass, even if he was like totally upstanding citizen.
Next, we have Gambit number 1 issue, first appearance of the Fallen, and first appearance of Oliver Stroker. And ooh, that's a nice one. Amazing Spider-Man number 332. Eric Larson's first work on Venom, and first appearance of Venom with the horror and monster features, including the monster tongue.
Yeah, because that's kind of like a spin-off of Spider-Man, and then they gave him those huge Venom tongue and lips and that whole personality.
And then we have a mini run here. Looks like there's 3 comic books inside. First, it's a Batman mini run, and that is the first appearance of Tim Drake, the origin of Tim Drake, and Tim Drake becomes Robin.
Very nice.
Those are the 3. I guess those are the 3 that are in the book.
Yeah, the 3 that are in
and
there.
then I got some extra comic books as well. Which are.
So these ones, like, this is what I was talking about when I talk to you guys and I kind of figure out like your vibe. Usually custom boxes will get an extra something thrown in, and it's because I talked to you guys and got to know something about you, so I wanted to put something in outside of your regular box.
Awesome. And then we have Star Wars Death Game. And here's the cover of that one.
Oh, from the original run.
That is
cool.
Really cool. And then we also have another Star Wars number 12, Luke and the droids trapped in a doomed world.
Very cool.
That's a nice one. Ooh. We have another Star Wars, trapped on a man-made wheel of death, and that is a really cool picture. Not bad. And then we have Superman 100, the DC 100 Sentinel Edition, 1995, issue number 18, The Death of Clark Kent. And then we also Buckaroo Banzai 1 and 2 on with silverback right here on the front. And so yeah, I'm not gonna try to be careful with that stuff. So yeah, that's all I have.
That was fantastic.
Very nice.
That's
Great
real
stuff.
awesome.
Now, we could possibly stretch this out a little longer and make Rich wait even longer, but I feel like we could actually pop and explode if we make him wait longer.
Rich, are you ready?
Yeah, of course. I got it all broken down, so this should be easy. I'm ready.
All right.
So we're starting off at the outside. We got this great picture of Venom, and I don't know if you guys could see, but the art right over here, and it's better over this way. Just the detail in this work right over here is so beautiful. So awesome, John. Thank you. This is throwaway art. I love it. All right, so that's one piece. And then we got some Boy Wonder here. A little Damien action. Robbing it up. Boom, boom, boom.
Look at Rich. Rich is on fire.
Yeah, I'm laying it right out. We got Harley.
I thought you might.
She's so beautiful. And then we got, of course, Mr. J. Bump, 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 bump. All right. And then on the outside of my comic book package, we have Classic Harley, which is always awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that is all my art. And then I have, of course, we got the old letter here. So let's see what we got. All right. So, I guess I got to get the comics out. That would help. Here they are. All right. So my first one is Thunderbolts number 130. Deadpool battles the Thunderbolts. Hard to find. First printing. It is the first time Gabriel Delato draws Deadpool on the cover art, which is pretty fucking cool looking. Yes. All right. So that's number 1. Then we have Web of Spider-Man, number 37. And Peter finally discovers that the black suit amplifies the feelings of rage and anger when he finds himself torturing a violent criminal who kidnapped MJ. I don't blame them. That dude up. All right. So then we move on to Batman Annual number 15. Boom, 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 right here. And in Batman Annual number 15, Joker tricks the Wave Rider into believing that Batman is a violent murderer in the future, creating a divide between Batman and all of the future Justice League members. So that could be interesting. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Spider-Man number 17. We got a little Thanos action on the cover. Very cool looking cover. First direct meeting of Spider-Man and Thanos. Wait, does that mean is the copter in this?
Oh, the Thanos copter is not in this one. The Thanos copter is played off as all like a distant fantasy between them, because this is when Todd McFarlane took over and decided that he was going to write the definitive origins and definitive stories and things like that. But this is the first time they actually are face to face meeting each other, and they don't have that dreamland, I guess, that dream fantasy filter put over it.
Very cool, though. Awesome looking cover. All right. Then we have Shadow of the Bat.
Yes.
Fruit of the Earth, which is the first appearance of Poison Ivy with the green skin and the bright red hair, which has come to be her classic look. Which is very nice. Yes, yes.
You got that angle down really good towards not shining at all of us.
I'm a professional, goddammit. All right, so we have Wolverine.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Number 73, which is the first appearance of the Burning Suns, Ram, Warhorse, Hotbox, and Level. I don't know what that means at all. 50 retailer incentive 70th anniversary variant. So very cool looking cover. I love it.
Snickety snack.
Oh, and the comic book that I've definitely had in the past. Spider-Man number 25. And what we got here is Spider-Man absorbs and controls the power of the Phoenix Force. And we see Excalibur action there, Captain Britain, Megan, Shadowcat, Phoenix, and of course Nightcrawler. Yes, very awesome. Oh, and this was a great series. So this is Nightcrawler number 3. This is a mini series.
Bam.
First appearance of the Dark Bamfs and origin of the race of Bamfs. So anyone who's a Nightcrawler fan. Oh man, you are bringing me back. So this is Uncanny X-Men Annual number 6, King Size Annual. Storm dethrones the current and then takes over as Queen of the Vampires. Or just King of the Vampires, but I would say Queen of the Vampires. But she's the head boss.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how badass she actually was as a character, man. She had a lot of great arcs where she just took shit over.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, what else we got? So we're moving on to Wolverine. Oops, this way. Number 97, which is blah, 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 blah. Rare newsstand variant. Comprises only 1% of the overall print run. First appearance of Chimera. All right. And then we're moving on. We have Deadpool number. Oh no, that's out of order. No, Night. No. This is Deadpool, Agent of Weapon X, which is not on my list at all. Okay, so this is an extra that is just not on my list. This is Deadpool number 3, Agent of Weapon X.
I meant to be on your list. I just probably forgot to put it in there. Again, I put these together very late at night. But yeah, that's actually a very hard to find run of that series. That was when Deadpool was kind of getting written off. They weren't sure what to do with him. So a lot of that got very low print runs. But yeah, it's a great series.
Cool. Then we move on to Web of Spider-Man number 90, and all you 90s buffs. There we go. We got hologram cover. Cover. Very cool. First appearance of a Venomized Galactus.
Oh wow!
Yep,
Ooh.
that's a
I've
super
seen that
cool.
before.
Yes, very cool. And then my final comic book, which is a beautiful, beautiful cover of
Thought you
Mr.
might like
Clay,
that one.
the Batman Dark Detective, Vote for Me or I'll Kill You. Let's see, Batman Dark Detective 1, first appearance of the Silver St. Clair since the Silver Age. Joker murders an innocent man at a party directly in front of Bruce Wayne in an attempt to get him to out himself as Batman. And of course, it's an iconic cover.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I got some great comics here, and I've got this little thing package that seems to have some art in it. So let's see if I can get that out. All right, got that. So let's see what we got. Oh, all right, there's pieces in between to protect it. All right, so we have a combo.
Oh, wow.
Joker. Very nice. Great
It's your
detail.
That's a
romantic
nice one.
picture.
Yeah, split right down the middle for the crazy. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. And and then we have a super crazy evil Logan looking one. This is very cool. This needs to get framed. Oh, I love it. Look at the metallic. It's got great form and lines. And he's very angry looking. Grrr. 1, 2, and I think that's it. That is my box. So thank you, John. This was very cool.
I'm glad you like it both.
Yay!
Your box made me wet.
You usually whisper that in my ear.
I know. I'm sorry. I got a little out of control.
It's been a while since we've curled up together.
Trigger warning there now. All of a sudden, yeah.
It's a little con love. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy.
What do
Are
you
you
got?
ready?
I think I'm ready.
All right. Give us
First
what you
thing,
got, Jeremy.
on the outside, it had amazing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle artwork, which I figured onto this little piece of cardboard because
Very
John wants
cool.
us
That
to
is
just
awesome.
cut it all up. And I can't cut up his art no matter what he says. And then also Swamp Thingy,
Nice.
assuming he glows in the dark as well.
The skulls
And
give you a nice look in the middle of the night.
Hell yeah!
And then we got TMNT.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm
Awesome.
not great at spacing.
And Thanos.
Ooh,
Very cool.
Let me try to get all
With
of
an
That is
extra
awesome.
big ball sack
Oh,
chin.
there you go.
Oh,
Yes.
just a big old grimace with a nutsack face.
All right, so now if I've listened to everybody do this correctly, I've lost my knife.
This is why we can't have nice things, Jeremy.
This really is why we can't have. How did I lose? Oh, it's in my lap.
I was gonna say you're a miracle sideboard man. You can conjure anything into existence.
All right, bam, bam, bam. This is like the top part's like a record. Oh, that has all the. Oh, dude, that's dope. Usagi!
ooh, that is awesome.
So I'm no Stan Sakai, but I definitely tried to put my own spin on him.
I almost mistaked you for Stan. I was like, hey, he looks. Oh, wow, this gets better and better.
Ooh,
Yay!
It's Galactic Skeletor. Okay, what do we got here? You got a piece of paper. I don't know if you guys got a piece of paper. I got a piece of paper. Oh, and then look at this. All right. Yeah.
oh,
So that one's kind of got a meta appearance to it. So a lot of people don't realize that the Ninja Turtles are actually originally a spin-off of Daredevil.
Yep.
Because the same things that blinded Daredevil, they were supposed to spill down into a vent, and the vent in the ground was actually where the turtles were, and they were covered in all the ooze that created them. But that is also a cover homage to, I think it's Daredevil 219. I believe the Elektra Daredevil Bullseye piece.
We need Cooper here for that.
Now.
He's the turtle expert.
Okay. Ha! John's boxing was easy. You guys are.
See,
You guys are
I told you.
beginners. Except for I have to go through like 3 different things to find them.
So
Okay.
the problem with having an anxiety disorder and then making something that you have to send through the mail
Yeah.
is that your brain says, okay, that could be done, but
All
what
right,
if
I
this happens? So then you're like, all right, well, I can probably prepare for that too. But then you end up making this weird armored shell around
Ha!
the package.
Don't worry, with an entirely neurodivergent crowd here, so it's all good.
All right. Now I'm missing the letter this time.
Open the package.
Open the actual package. All right. Open the package. Oh, by the way, the package has more Skeletor.
Nice. That's a nice one. Look at the eyes on
Oh,
that.
that is a nice one.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot.
That's so you can see yourself in Skeletor.
I like it a lot. Oh, is this? Oh, I found the letter. All right. Yes, I did. All right. So Silverback custom box. As soon as I open this, this is where all the tape really went.
I still think I somehow managed to run out of tape while making these boxes. Like I got to the end and I was like, wow, that was a whole case of tape. These poor people.
All right.
Technically 6.
My recycling guy's gonna love you. Oh, that is really cool. I like those. Okay, let's start on the top. The iron. Hold on. Nope, that's not the right
Oh wait,
one.
before you start, Jeremy, I would like to know that you're the only one who didn't go through the interview process. So
I did not.
You're partially based on my impressions of you.
All right. I
This is
think
me 100% sourcing from other people.
Why didn't you do it, Jeremy? Why didn't you do it?
nobody asked me to.
Oh.
There was a reason, because Jeremy's just such a nice guy. We aren't going to go into that.
No, Jeremy has a very weird, like, Carrie was like, you want to be part of this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, it's better to ask permission than...
I'm 100% uncomfortable with people being nice.
Forgiveness, then...
Yeah. So, we will start with, all right, the Iron Man thing, number 2. A 1 of 10 incentive horror variant featuring Man-Thing, Iron Man hybrid.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Two things that do not go together.
Reminds me of Cthulhu.
Not characters you usually think of being together.
Next, we have Young Justice, number 1, first appearance of the original Young Justice roster.
Nice.
Oh.
Look at that, Impulse and everybody. Ah.
Very cool.
Next, we have Generation X. Now, this is 90s, like, to the max.
Oh, 100%.
First appearance of Zeitgeist and first appearance of Chamber.
Nice.
And
I love the shiny. Shiny is good. Generation X.
You got skin right
I
on
like it. All right. And next is Star Wars Life Day, number 1. First appearance of the first Wookiee Jedi, which, if everybody's watching Star Wars these days, it's just bound to happen in one of the shows.
It's actually, I guess, very heavily being rumored for the Ahsoka show.
It would make sense.
Yeah, that it's going to show. He's going to show up. I guess there's like set photos that leaked of him being there.
All right, let's see. Next up is Godzilla number 20, King of the Monsters. Thing knocked out Godzilla.
Yeah,
So
the most
Godzilla
ridiculous one-punch knockout in history.
That's pretty cool.
Go Godzilla. Oh, until he falls over.
That just surprises the shit out of me. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I know a lot about Godzilla, and that was actually something I didn't know about.
Oh, yeah, man. Thing KOs him one punch. He's like, I can take on the Hulk. I can take on a big lizard. And he turns around and just KOs him one shot.
Fucking amazing, man.
Oh, Evil Ernie. Number 1, variant cover featuring a cover homage to TMNT number 1, which I'm a huge fan. Very nice.
I would have loved to include a TMNT number 1, but I mean, yeah.
Well, it's okay. I have a 4th print, so one day, next time, John.
So I live like probably 20 minutes away from the TMNT house, because a lot of people don't realize that the
Are
turtles.
you in Western Mass?
New Hampshire. So,
Oh, okay.
A lot of people don't realize that the turtles were created in Dover, on the back of a Dover House of Pizza napkin. But yeah, so like we run into stuff like I buy collections all the time, and I literally run into old original Mirage Studios Ninja Turtle runs all the time. But it just happens to be hit or miss when I come across them. But I've come across like 5 or 6 one first prints over the years.
Oh man!
Just because you buy them from somebody who originally was at Portsmouth Comic Con when they came out with it, and they did just their mother found their collection and was selling it off, doesn't know what it's worth, and yeah, I've come across them a few times. I'm like, I can't take this from you because you don't know the hundreds of thousands of dollars this is.
For real, ridiculous. All right, next up we have Marvel Team Up number 104, Hulk and Kazar. It's the destruction of MODOK's chair.
Oh, I just watched Quantum Mania.
That is awesome.
The fact they picked on his baby legs is probably one of the meanest things ever.
Next, we have Fantastic Four number 273, first full appearance and first cover appearance of Nathaniel Richards before he has any Kang ideations. So that's kind of
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Marvel Comics presents number 18, first time She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall. That's pretty cool.
If you didn't love that show, then you weren't paying attention, because that show was absolutely fantastic.
That show was great. Loved it. All right, and where are we? G.I. Joe number 129. Issue 125 and up of G.I. Joe due to growing cancellations. These issues are part of a much lower print run. Yo, Joe. And now knowing's half the battle. I'm getting there. Where are we? Marvel Age 134, which, I'm sorry, this is 90s also.
Oh, yeah, and it's exactly what it is.
Oh, nice.
I mean, you can't get any better than Beavis and Butthead.
That is your first appearance of Beavis and Butthead right there.
I want to go
That's pretty cool.
take some Ativan and spank my monkey.
Huntress, number 1, first appearance of the Huntress.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. And
I love that little thing in the bottom corner that said that comics aren't just for kids.
this is what I first opened and saw, which made me very happy. I'm a big fan of Super Dinosaur. Maybe not a lot of people are into it, but
That is the complete first run, my friend. 1
Yeah.
through 2.
Robert Kirkman's one of his first comics. And then randomly, it's not on here, maybe you meant to write it down, but Usagi Yojimbo, the Hidden, number 1.
That's
So
awesome.
that actually is the last Usagi story that Dark Horse owned before Stan took him back.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
And that is all I have. That was great.
That was a
Thank
Jeremy
you.
run.
Now I have to find friggin' what do you call those things? Frames? Yeah.
Brains.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys like all the pieces. I tried to suit them all to you guys like individually.
Those
Yeah,
alone, the art alone is worth the box.
I have to find frames for those, and then if anybody has suggestions for double-sided frames, our dear friend Steve Van Samson has this habit of releasing books that come with like 11 by 17 posters that are double-sided. And to get things like that, you have to order them from like restaurant stores.
Acrylic stands, yeah, you can go on Amazon and buy an acrylic They're acrylic display stands, and they are double-sided.
Okay, so just look for acrylic display
Just
stands
acrylic
instead of
display
what I've been
stands,
looking
pop
for.
right up.
Yeah, those are the ones I was telling you about on Amazon. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And Raz, you're up.
All right.
Right.
It's gonna be a journey. Hold on, I gotta grab the box. It's right next.
Okay. There's some special things for Raz too.
So medically, I'm not allowed to lift over 5 pounds. Let me just tell you, bending over to pick this package up the day it came in, I was like, holy shit. I didn't know comics could be that heavy. And then I had to bring it down like several flights of stairs. So like moving this box alone is an event for me. a worth it event, mind you, a very worth it event. But in preparation, I did do a lot of work. We actually already took it down to the cardboard. We very carefully only had to make 5 small incisions, and we were able to remove all the tape and the plastic and save beautiful pieces of art. Now, I can show you one.
Oh,
amazing,
nice.
amazing Cyclops. The reason why I cannot show you the Magneto and the Black Panther is that they are already affixed to my brand new computer desk that I just got recently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like,
are you decoupaging?
Yeah, I'm going to do the whole desk
yeah.
and his artwork, like from all this stuff. So when it's all done, then I can take pictures of the desk. That's my big plan right now.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Jeremy does decoupage.
I love to decoupage shit.
I used to too, and I haven't had a reason to do it in a long time. So it's like, yeah, it gives me an excuse to do another thing that I also used to really enjoy.
Yeah,
So it's like it's super cool.
And it's not like you don't have to be like super talented either. It's like you kind of just do what makes you feel good about it.
Exactly, and between my OCD and everything else, like it'll be like a whole week long event. This decoration of the desk. It'll be a special occasion. I've got it down to where I need to cut one tiny little piece of tape, and the box would just open. And I asked him earlier if there was a bear trap inside, because like the tension on this piece of tape.
You got to show it, dude.
It's the one hero piece of tape. It's just fun for dear life.
It's hard to see.
It blows up in your face.
I feel like it's going to it's so hard to see. Like this box, it barely fits in this table. But like it's this one little piece, like right there. That's it.
So
that's it.
To give the backstory behind it, while everybody else got like one book for representing one key, things like that, I had talked to Raz, and I found out that Raz had lost his extensive collection. And I, as somebody who's been collecting for a long time, knows how much your collection means to you, be it whether it's just a weird compulsion of yours or whatever it is. That collection always means something to you. And so instead of one book for like one keynote, he's got a lot of like sets and runs in there because I really wanted to set him up to be able to kind of give back what, without his toys was taken away from him. So I set him up with like kind of a collection Kickstarter.
And like some of you guys have heard me talk about on the shows before. Ohio got devastated by like 27 tornadoes a couple years ago on Memorial Day. So like the actual anniversary of these tornadoes is tomorrow, and there's like little like gatherings like all over this, like different cities nearby, like for it. Like we do this every year. And I lost my entire comic collection that I've been collecting since '87. Every piece of horror memorabilia, DVD, everything that I owned. A 50-piece stone gargoyle collection that I had just for holidays, birthdays, like family members would just like give me these like cool gargoyles. It's like everything's gone. Like everything's gone. And I've been actually kind of afraid to collect anything again, because what you learn real quick is that one day everything's just going to go, and you don't know when that day is going to be. So after that day happens, there's a lot of anxiety behind that, because you feel like, you don't deserve to own anything because, you didn't take care of your collection and it's all gone. And there's a million things that brings up, and feelings, lots of feelings. And anyone that knows me knows that I don't do emotions super well. That's that borderline personality disorder part. I can't process things like that sometimes. So I'm going to read a letter that he wrote to me on the package. And I had to read this previously because I actually did get super emotional. So I didn't want to get emotional like on the camera. So I did that privately, like well before. It says, so here's the thing. I know that you really want to portray the image of someone who used to love comics, but because you suffered a loss of your collection, you moved on and have adjusted just fine. The problem with that is how you talk about comics. The connections you draw, and the things you say are words of someone who still loves comics. I'm also guessing that to the outside world, you may have expressed a little sadness. internally losing your collection and all those memories was akin to losing a limb. So from one long-time comic book nerd who knows how very important one's comic collection can be, I took it upon myself to upgrade your box a little. You may notice that your box is a bit on the thick side. Instead of individual books of note, I have instead set you up with several runs, sets, and series that I think and hope you will genuinely enjoy. However, half the fun of collecting is the hunt and the triumph of completing different parts of your collection. So a lot of these are not complete and are missing some here and there. I will be happy to help you track down any that you want to find that you're having trouble tracking down yourself. I hope this is the new foundation you needed laid out to motivate you to start your collection again. With highest regards, Boston Silverback Graphics. So yeah, as you guys can imagine, me reading that on my own was it was rough. There was actually several tears. I have cried maybe 8 or 9 times, like actually really cried in my life, and this was one of them. That was pretty fucking monumental, man.
Well, you know, I like you said, I don't go out of my way to do a lot of things that are like, you know, I don't want anybody to feel like they're a charity or anything like that. But like, I know that I don't want to start another collection. Like, I lost that one, it sucks, and so it's very hard to kind of get that momentum and that, you know, that just drive to do it again. So I figured if I took away that whole getting started part and kind of set you up so that you already have a footing, maybe it'll help you kind of get back to where you were. 'Cause I can definitely tell it's something that you love a lot.
It was a big part of my life. My brother, who passed years ago, we grew up working comic book shows together, and we got paid in comics and magic cards. That was our whole payments. Like thousands of dollars worth of work over a period of like several weekends would just be, okay, it's over. Just point to something you want.
Yep.
So I started. Peter Parker Spider-Man was the first Spider-Man I ever collected as a kid, like number 1, because they were not expensive comic books back in the 90s.
Right.
And it just kind of went into like the Tick became my favorite ever of all time, still is. A Spawn, like I kind of just went everywhere. I probably gravitated a little more towards Marvel, but I really just kind of went everywhere. And I cared about stories. The art's great, but like the stories are what I really drew me into a lot of things. So I'm gonna cut this final piece of tape, and hopefully it doesn't explode and shoot my monitor across the room.
Let it
That would be good for all of us.
Hey Raz, if I may, right before you do that, if I can share with you,
Yes.
you're not alone, brother. Not quite in the same way, but I went through a divorce a few years ago, and she was financially relentless. Let's put it that way. And I've been, my dad put comic books in my hand when I was 3 years old on the toilet in like 1974, and I had 11 long boxes.
Oh.
And now I have less than 50 comics, and now I've got about another 15 or 20 here more. So it's cool. I am not going to start a new collection. So John, don't send me any charity.
Don't you tempt me.
But I have enjoyed doing digital, and we talk comics on our show every week, so it's enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to let you know that you weren't alone, and it happens. I understand the grief. But I understand the moving forward, and I hope you move forward, and I can't wait to see your box now.
Much love to you, Jay. I appreciate that you shared that with me. That meant a lot, man.
Of course.
So here we go. Okay, it didn't explode, so that's a good sign. We're slowly moving and opening and shifting things. Okay, so wow. Oh, more. Oh, there was multiple layers of cardboard. Okay. Okay, so the tape that I thought was
your camera, hun, is up above your head.
It just flipped. I know. I hit it with the box. So yeah, this there's another layer. So that piece of tape I thought was saving the world was not the lonely piece of tape. All right. Here I was thinking I was all prepared and had it like right down to the wire already.
Not even close.
Yeah, and this was another piece of artwork that I had no idea what it was because it was this side was another side that was damaged.
Honestly, we're not sure what it was at this point.
All right. And now this second layer. Oh. I know it's going to happen several times. I'm going to have to readjust constantly. Yeah. I had to take it off the tripod to bring it closer.
Oh, okay. I'm just being the annoying host. It's like, God damn it, Raz.
Oh,
Can't
you're
see.
there. So they're
So I've actually been really excited for you to see the art piece that I included for you. Because I showed Carrie, and Carrie's like, "Oh my god, he's gonna love it."
Yeah, I got to cheat on all of you. I got to see a lot of your shit
Oh
before
yeah,
you guys got
Carrie
it.
has known what all of you are getting for the longest time.
Oh,
I'm so excited to see everything. We're down to the last. Oh, you have to show the dirty joke part too.
Yeah, I got that separate to the side already.
All right, cool. And then John, actually, I'm gonna jump in here real quick and say that the last time we did an opening or an unwrapping of John's stuff, it got really weird towards the end. And we just kept talking, and I won't talk about who else in this broadcast was there, but we got into like
Horror themed marital aids.
Yeah. Yeah, marital
Two
aids.
little
That's a
dildos
good
that
word
were
for it.
really
And
landed on the
yeah,
line.
all sorts of just crazy stuff. So he decided that we were, as a group, when let off of our leashes, like we are on these shows, naughty as hell, and could get something sent to us that might be so provocative. And there's a reason Raz is opening his last.
Actually, go over and grab those.
Okay. I'm down to the blue. The inner blue.
Again?
Oh, I've removed now 4.5 layers of cardboard and white packing.
So, all right. So, just so people can kind of get an idea, I didn't do that just to be a dick. I promise. It's because every now and then you get to a point where you're just trying to build a solid outer shell, and then you run out of cardboard, and you're like, no. But then you realize, oh, but I can put another layer over here. But then you get past that, and you're like, but now it's not even. And compulsory, you just like, I must make it even. So before I knew it, I had like 6 layers of cardboard shell around his as well. But I was like, it's heavy, so.
My mom did this like normally at Christmas. Like it really, I don't think it took me that long to open it. I don't think it was that much of like a chore to open it all. And as coming from someone else that has anxiety, like the fact that I saw what the outside looked like, and I was really nervous about it, but like how much you wrapped it on the inside actually made me feel better as I was opening it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, man. I've had some horror stories come back to me about like mailmen that just like boot their box, or like I had one where the guy got left out. That's how the blue stuff started happening. So I had a guy whose package got left out in like a torrential downpour, and paper products plus rain equals bad day. But if you wrap something in like 17 layers of plastic, then the water is not a factor.
Oh yeah. All right, so I got everything out. Now, one thing I did need to show is she was talking about that, and I do have this little thing on this side that was connected. I can't really show it that well without the brightness, but it says, "Do you want to hear a dirty joke?" So that was a separate little thing, like a sticker that was wrapped in plastic on the package.
Okay, and this is John Hoppin. We basically just explained it, but
so for whoever found the "Do you want a dirty joke?" I'm actually going to send out a separate package to you, and the package is going to include 2 books. The first book is going to be Action Comics 592, which is, and I'm not kidding for those of you who may not know, Superman films a sex tape with Big Barda that is distributed via the internet by Sleaze, or the Galactic Internet. So he did it before Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian. And then the other one, because I don't play favorites Marvel or DC, is going to be this here book right here. And this Avengers book was recalled because of outrage from mothers groups due to the fact that on the first 2 pages, Wasp shrinks down Ant-Man and allows him to be used as said marital aid, where she just kind of pops him right up in there.
Wow, so Ant-Man enters her.
Oh yeah,
he's recalled by Marvel.
He's just in there punching walls and making her moan.
And Superman with a sex tape.
So he did that before the boys.
Oh, that's right. Way before the boys.
Well, I mean, hopefully no one exploded as a result of that one, though.
No, but the world might have, because I think the outrage from mothers groups had the book like recalled something within like 2 hours.
Those are oddly like right up my alley as a person, too.
I figured with the conversation that we had last time that whoever ended up with them was going to be happy.
Oh,
Yeah. That was so much fun.
Here. And
right.
Let's see. We start with. I want to make sure I have the right thing here.
I think the first one's the comedy lot.
Yeah, the comedy lot. Start with this one here.
Spider-Man Web of Doom.
And it's the first appearance of See-Through Girl. That's awesome, man.
How is See-Through Girl different than the Invisible Woman?
Exactly.
It's spelled differently.
Yeah.
These are different fonts.
One's a girl,
Comic
one's a
Sans
woman.
versus Comic Sans.
Durr.
She has a green outline.
Then we have here, which is let's see, at X-Men #1.
Oh, so you may not
the original.
Not the original #1.
They were just some of the '90s goodness that I figured would go along with a collection of somebody who loved the '90s. The only the second book in history I think to ever get pressed over 1 million copies was X-Men 1.
My brother had a copy of this one. It's the first appearance of Bad Guy.
Yes.
That's an awesome one. That's a fun read too.
Okay, so what's the first appearance of Florida Man, by the way?
The day you find out, you let me know, because Florida Man is my favorite superhero.
The day Disney opened in Florida, I'm gonna guess. Oh my god, dude. Okay. Got to see this one too as well. This is a Marvel team up, number 36, featuring Spider-Man and the Frankenstein monster.
Oh, that's
Dude.
so good for you.
And that is the first appearance of Border Worlds. Is that correct?
The Border Worlds one, that's actually going to go along with the Mega Sandman stuff. I must have got those off-centered in my when I was typing stuff. You'll see. It'll come up.
Oh, okay. I do have. Oh, okay. Here is the Ultra Force #1. Is it? Wait, the All New Exile. Sorry.
Oh, that's the first. So just because I know the notes are offset now, I'll go through it. This is the first appearance of a Marvel character outside of a Marvel property. When you see Juggernaut appear in a Malibu comic.
That is epic.
I realized that no one can see me shaking my head and going, that is cool, yeah.
This is one that me and my brother I picked up, and we fought over it, and we did a series of bets, and each one got increasingly, I guess, more arrest-worthy in public until the person who said no more lost, and the winner got this comic, X-Men number 300.
X-Men 300. So that is actually the first appearance of the Legacy virus. Which is actually a fun thing that came up down the road was like an analogy for autism that came out because at the time it was a big influx of people being diagnosed autistic and not just having it all just be one universal spectrum. So Marvel's version of that was going to have a virus that would affect mutants every single one differently and create like a spectrum of people affected.
That is amazing, dude. Okay, next one is going to be the Web of Spider-Man, number 100.
Yes, it's the 90s goodness foil cover. That's the first appearance of the metal Spider-Man suit, the Ricochet armor.
I love that metal stuff when I was a kid, man. It reminded me of there was a drink I used to drink back then called Balls. That's the name.
The little bubbles on the outside look like a mirror.
And that's kind of what almost like the armor reminded me of back then.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some.
So I wanted to make sure, especially when you told me where your collection was sourced pretty much through the 90s, that you had a nice little influx of like 90s nostalgia classic throwbacks.
Nice. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork I'm going to share.
Oh, wow.
Spider-Man and Mysterio.
So I was
That's
playing
cool.
around with computer things trying to get that mirror ball hit with it, and I just didn't like it how it came out on that one. So that's why I ended up with the set. Can't remember what the set is that I put in with it, but I believe it's with great power comes great responsibility set,
Okay, yeah.
which is a series that takes place in the time period in between when Spider-Man gets his powers and Uncle Ben dies, because they never covered what happened before. It was normally just a quick jump.
Right.
And that series explains all the stuff that happens in between.
And these. Okay.
And I believe that's a complete set for you.
Oh yeah. I actually want to take this out and check them too. So you see the individual books here. Yeah. I suck at not
with
like
great power.
getting rid of the shiny.
It's hard, man. Like I use a lot of like Mylar bags and things like that, and Mylar is incredibly reflective.
Oh yeah. That is absolutely delicious.
Another
When I buy these
goddamn
collections,
organic store.
they always have like the dirt bag when I buy collections, like because it sat in somebody's mom's attic forever, so it's got like that dust and probably rat piss and all sorts of other things mixed on that cover. So they always replace the bag. They try and get as many of the bag as possible.
Gotcha. And then this one is taped a little here. We have also this one.
Yeah, tell me he doesn't look like a member of like My Chemical Romance, man. I don't know why. I hear that one piano key play every time I see that cover. It's one that just makes everybody cry. And has there ever been a single better casting in a movie ever than J. Jonah Jameson in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies? I will.
There wasn't.
That's the best casting ever made.
And here's the. It looks like I think that's one of the last ones in the set, or the last one in the set.
Just so you know, spoiler alert, that set ends incredibly sad. Especially if he writes, as Uncle Ben doesn't make it.
What? Spoiler alert.
I know, spoiler alert, Uncle Ben doesn't make it. He's got some really big emotion.
You're kidding me.
Is that like the only one constant in every universe? Uncle Ben gets it.
Yep, no matter what universe you go to, Ben still gets just the stiff end of the stick every time.
Now this is my favorite. Again, my favorite superhero. I can talk. This art right here.
Yeah, I thought you might like that.
Nice.
Ooh, that is awesome.
And on the other side,
Oh, very cool.
now, I think I call along with this because
Now, I'm trying to remember what's in that set, but I'm pretty sure I have an idea. I'm hoping I got this right. I didn't just fuck it all up.
I don't even see this one listed.
Oh yeah, that's because that one's kind of I think if I got this right, that one's kind of a solo act.
Okay, because there's several that just say silverback set, I think.
Oh yeah, that's because you might have more than one letter.
Okay. I didn't see another letter.
You may have to open up some things.
Okay. Maybe it'll be in this one. Let's see. All right. All right, let's see here. Right off the bat, I am seeing some printable glow-in-the-dark sticker paper.
Oh yeah. So I have to to use a lot of the glow-in-the-dark stuff I actually have to cheat because I'm not a scientist. So I'm not making ink from scratch, but I can definitely melt down the vinyl that has the ink in it and leak the ink out of it so I can use it.
Nice.
I've had to convince my roommates many times that I wasn't cooking enough.
Here we have a series. I have
Swear, guys.
I'm just trying to get these. I promise I know what this looks like.
I want this thing to shine in the dark.
This
It has nothing to do with drugs.
is an offshoot, I believe, of the Tick.
Is it Sandman?
It's Paul the Samurai.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why that one wasn't listed. So that is the first ever spin-off series from the Tick. And it is not only Paul the Samurai 1 through 3, it's also the first appearance of Paul the Samurai in his own one-shot series.
This is amazing, man. I've never actually read these.
Where you told me you were a really big Tick fan. I think these were right up your alley.
Oh, 100%. I've actually always wanted to read these.
The next set from that, which I'm happy to help you track down, is going to be Chainsaw Vigilante.
Okay, yes, I'm very familiar with Chainsaw Vigilante.
Yeah. So Paul came first, and then there was Chainsaw Vigilante came afterwards once they realized they could do spin-off series from the Tick.
I heard a ripping noise. That's never good.
It's tape.
Okay.
Just more tape. It's empty tape.
Yeah, yeah, it's tape on plastic, so we're
He's
good.
decided he's actually going to decoupage his entire box.
Yeah. And I'm doing it right now secretly.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Oh, this is Cerebus, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I
this
can help you out with some later issues of that.
So those are some early issues of Cerebus back when it was still printed on newspaper.
Yeah.
And it is Cerebus is considered one of the most counterfeit and bootlegged comic books in history. And number one only has something like 7,000 copies printed, and somehow CGC has 19,000 in their census. They had to go back through and start figuring out all the different things that made it, made an original copy.
These are actually some that I've never heard of before.
Yeah, so mixed in with the Cerebus, you're going to find a lot of all stuff that's kind of like Tick adjacent, or stuff that would be associated with the Tick.
Okay.
You'll see Megaton Man, things like that mixed in there. Which Megaton Man, which if you ever watched Cool World, Megaton Man pops up in Cool World, which I'm a huge Cool World fan. But he was supposed to be that classic Superman archetype that they were just kind of parodying, making fun of, but he became so popular that they couldn't get rid of him and gave him his own series. And because these are all small print, independent comics from that same time period, a lot of these are actually really hard to track down because they are self-published by a lot of these guys.
Makes sense. All right, next.
But it seemed kind of right up your alley, where it was all small press and indie stuff.
Very exceedingly so. So this here is it looks like the Laugh Pad.
Yeah.
That open. Here, of course, we got the Megaton Man he was just talking about.
Yeah. That's going to be your first appearance of Border Worlds. It's actually what they used to create Borderlands, the video game.
Yeah.
Was based off of the Border Worlds concept that was created, which was the space in between on frames.
Okay.
But that was considered the Borderlands because it took place in between the images. And that's actually what the Borderlands video game was created. The game's wasteland that was taken over this destitute wasteland. And they created a whole series.
That's actually super awesome because that's a conversation we didn't have. That's actually one of my favorite video game franchises.
Yeah, that was just a shot in the dark. So that's a good coincidence.
You had that spot on, man. All right, and then there's okay, just so you know, I've got this fancy children's suffocation warning on the back of this one.
Oh yeah, don't put that bag on your head.
Oh,
don't do it. You can't breathe.
Here we have
Spawn.
The Spawn.
Yeah, I think this one's probably going to hit home most for you because it's you said that Spawn was a big one that you were big into.
Oh yeah.
So this is going to be a nice blend for you of Capullo and McFarlane's artwork.
This set is particularly the Spawn in general, all the Spawns. It's super special, more so than any of the ones, because again, I told the story about that particular X-Men comic that we had Joke Wars on. This was actually a set that him and I collected together. So we would only buy a comic of it if there were two available.
Yep.
And we literally went through and just collected a lot of Spawn just together. It was the only ones that we did that with, actually.
So
wow.
The reason I included a lot of these are because, again, 90s was really where I was aiming for with a lot of your stuff. All of these are sub 100 issues, so that would be that time period where it was very 90s image. Everything before Spawn became this like huge overworld archetype. It was just one title. So everything in here is from that pre 100
Okay.
Spawn stuff.
First we have Spawn number 4. Violator's the man. Or the demon, I guess.
Again, just a spot on casting, like with
T-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, could not get a better person for that.
Number 5.
I'm alive. Number 5. Sorry.
We got
Had to be
96.
said.
It's a first Overkill.
Number 8.
That is first Todd McFarlane homaging himself, which now is just a regular practice for Todd McFarlane.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, I drew this one thing. I'm going to draw everything doing it now.
Number
So it's
11.
kind of like a Tourette's thing.
I'm back. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
Oh,
We've got number 12.
That is the first appearance of Jason Wynn and also the first appearance of Chapel.
Number 13.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the origin of Chapel's face getting all messed up and why he hates Spawn so much.
Yeah. Oh, we've got 14.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just a classic Violator. Yeah, I love when you have the clown version and the actual Violator.
Now we've got number 15.
Well, Jesus, Raz.
That's cool. Look at that art, man. Got a couple up here. We got 16.
That's Capullo's first work with McFarlane on Spawn.
Very nice.
18.
Yeah, and these were considered the big anniversary come into for Spawn. You do these black frames.
Oh yeah, and then of course this. I don't know why this one was always one of the most iconic ones when I was young. Like growing up, just seeing this particular one here. But it's the way they did it. This one here.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
the simplicity is what makes some of the stuff like great. Like Todd was always good for doing like a really over elaborate pictures, but like him working with Capullo grounded him, so he would do these basic covers that were just very, very standard.
I initially fell in love with McFarlane, honestly, during Spider-Man. And then when everything happened, obviously, you know, he kind of went off and did his own stuff. Like Spawn was immediate, an immediate like go to it, and it was the art because I like the art, but the story, was it's not like every part of it was like entirely unique, but the way the story was told, you know, you had the love story, you had the just so many different stories all kind of coalescing into one person, and it was this vibe that you know. So much in comics is, you know, even back then for neurodivergent people, that wasn't something that was a big deal. But you got this guy who's clearly not all there, and he has all these things going on. One person, all these things. And it was so expansive, and it went into so many different directions. You start thinking like, okay, I almost feel better about my own life here a little bit. There's just so many things entangled in these comics. And then of course they put out Violator 1.
Yes.
And then just about every comic book shop in our town freaked out about it. And you had to wait in line to get Violator 1 around here, except for the comic book store at the mall that had just opened and no one really knew it existed yet because it had only been open for like 2 days. I went there and got it. And that scene where he punches the back of the cop's head and it comes out his mouth, that's another thing. There's the baby doll from Gorge, one of the Gorge Street covers that I recreated every haunt I work at. That scene is also another thing that I recreated every haunt that I work for. Just that back to the back of the head, puppeting him with your hand, like that gore. It's gorgeous, man.
So you guys had asked me what stuff is like worth keeping. So I don't know if you guys noticed, I've been kind of zoned out here, like I kind of just doodle off camera and stuff. But I figured we were going to get to the spawn run eventually, so the kind of stuff that's worth keeping.
Wow.
This is the piece I was working on while we were chit-chatting. Ooh, there we go.
That is just so gorgeous, man. I love that.
Absolutely beautiful.
That's the stuff that I keep. The stuff that
And you do those, it's 1 for 35 or 2 for 55?
Yeah, one for 35, 2 for 55. And then if it's got some glowy effects or things like that, then it's 1 for 40 or 2 for 60.
Okay.
You guys got to start picking these up. Like, John needs to just be able to do this for a living. Like, just straight up, the amount of love and passion and thought he puts into everything that he creates in these boxes, like, this needs to be like just something that he does. Period. Like, this needs to be his life, and you guys need to make that happen. Buy them. Buy them for your family, your friends. Buy them for the guy that washes your window at the gas station down the street. Whoever in your life, even if you're not even sure if they like comics, buy them anyway.
Kids. Buy them for kids.
This is a huge one. Huge one. Like, giving your kid one of these boxes, like
if we don't have kids that buy them later, all the comics that I have now are worthless.
Right.
That's true.
But like you give these to a kid, like even if kids that don't know what they're worth, like you just say like, oh well, I'll hold on to these for you now. The kid's opening part is going to be the best part. So these kids are going to open it, and then they have 12 more things to open when they open the box. It's the best gift you can give to like kids that are just slightly into the genre or something like that.
You're trying to cover and reprotect them because obviously I'm a chain smoker.
I want to be like, that's why, I wrapped mine immediately and stuck them in a bag and wrapped it. If you're the type of person to take your kids to free comic book day, don't let them run up and down the fucking aisles, pushing open the covers and shutting them, because they're costing that comic book store so much more than you're spending.
Yeah. If you don't behave,
and I will hurt them. I saw it once, and it was like, can't kill infant age thing.
My point behind that is if you don't reprimand your children and you're not going to parent your children, what you're saying to me is that you decided that you don't want to do it, but someone else needs to. And so I'm going to lean in close to your child, and I'm going to whisper in their ear, Santa Claus is dead. And if they don't immediately start crying, then I'm also going to whisper, I'm the one who killed him. Keep acting this way, and we'll join him.
You get the Hulu dance of approval for that.
At that point in time, it's really up to you to take care of the aftermath, because I can birth that little accident.
Like, seriously, my local store that's closest to me sends you out with, like, you get 8 comics in a bag to start with, and then out of all the rest of them are spread out, like there's the kids over here and the adults over here, and you get 4 more. And people, I think, were renting fucking children to bring in with them.
Oh yeah.
Because there would be like mother, father, and like 6 5-year-olds. But we each get one, so that's like 8 times 4 is we get 32 free comics.
And I know that
as your child is ruining everything.
Have you ever seen a group of like one parent with like 9 kids, and you looked at the parent, and you're like, yeah, that guy's a doctor. Never once. Never once. Because those people know not to get outnumbered.
I thanked a woman once, and I didn't bother her while she was with her children, but I did it on Facebook kind of thing, trying to find her down. She brought 5 children out for breakfast once. Between in a high chair to about 14, and everything went great, and the kids took care of each other, and they were very respectful to her, and they never threw a fit. And I was just like, wow, thank you, that's really impressive. I'm so proud of you. But I said that I remember it because it happened once.
Exactly.
All right. I wanted to let everybody know real quick that Rich did take off. He's got some back problems going on. I'm just slightly more inebriated, so my knees still feel like they're not going to die.
Yep.
But if anybody else wants to take it off, let us know.
I
guys
just
are
need
okay?
to adjust every now and
I
again.
very much appreciate.
Oh, good. I actually asked Carrie about it. I wasn't sure what you would really be into. So, like, Carrie was definitely a big influence on that one.
There we go. She is gorgeous. You can see the poison. Well, over here.
I'm glad that you like it.
Yeah, I like that.
Trying to match the art pieces to each of you guys' personality is great. Unless you're like, somebody in the middle on the bottom row that doesn't like to answer fucking quiz questions and give me an idea that they fucking like, so I have to kind of figure it out for myself. But everybody else is great and wonderful. Thank you so much for answering the questions, making it easier for me to, kind of match up what you like.
That motherfucker.
And John, you're missing it in its glory days. That ceiling was full until summer hit. And
Yeah.
we went, oh shit.
It used to be a
I have a
world.
bunch of books under the sun.
It's very sad. Everything I built it in the winter time when everything was beautiful and it all stayed up on the walls, and then it started getting warmer and warmer and stuff started bending and folding in, and I was like, oh no.
It does that. So I have a habit of going outside while I draw because, I'm not using a piece of paper, which like a smart person would. Weather affects a lot of things like that, especially where I draw occasionally on vinyl or something like that. And I'll be like in the middle of drawing a line, and all of a sudden the corner of the page from underneath will like come up and like slap my hand while I'm drawing because it's completely decided it's too warm or it's too cold, and it's decided to fold in on itself. So like that's the big purpose for a lot of your boss art has been the fact that I was trying to draw outside and just the middle of a manic fit and refused to go back inside while I was drawing. And the weather just decided to crinkle up the art on me while I was trying to draw it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this real quick. Everybody hang out here. But we've got the unboxing done. I'm gonna let us go through each other, introduce again, let everybody know what your shit is, how to get a hold of you. And we're gonna let the audience go, and we can hang out and dork out like that.
Okay.
Okay, so Jenny, I'm gonna start with you and go around.
Okay, hi. I'm Jenny Elliott, also known as Friday Blue. You can find me on Friday with the Library in the Blue Box on Facebook. And I love everything about books. I love everything about writing, and I want to learn more. So please come find me and tell me about what you wrote or made. Thank you.
Okay, heading over next to Tom.
All right. Sorry for the way I'm looking right now because I'm running low on battery life, but it's steady as right now, so just bear with me. Anywho, be sure to follow me on Twitter at TomDog247, and you can look for me on Facebook as well, Tom Morse Jr. as well. And plus, also, every Thursday I start the weekend early with Channel X, and at the last Saturday of every month, I also do another show called Wrestling Crime. However, I missed out on this one because I had some topics that I didn't get a chance to talk about, so I'm doing the show tomorrow night. So, right after Monday Night Raw, but the thumbs up the video, and I have tons of content on there. So besides Channel X and Wrestling Prime, I also do some unboxings every now and then. Not to mention, I do some live streams on playing some video games, and I also do some other stuff. I also just out of the random, but like what you like, and also be sure to face hug that subscribe button.
I love the face hugger.
Nice. Okay, John, we are to you. How do you want people to get a hold of you and check out all your stuff?
Your best bet is really through Instagram. Like I said, it's pretty much the easy one because I can post pictures of artwork on there and stuff. So it's the Silverback Graphic with an X. or Instagram.com/the Silverback Graphics, or you can look me up on Facebook, all those other places, Silverback Graphics. Pretty easy to find me. But yeah, I try and post as regularly as possible. I always post retail boxes when I put a new run together, as well as, like I said, new art all the time. And because Carrie was so gracious to put this together, I actually put together something for Carrie that she doesn't know about, because I know that she's really big into Ghost Rider stuff. So I put this together for her.
Oh my god.
The Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. Now, this here is 100% glow-in-the-dark metallic foil. So this is going to be all chrome metallic and the daylight, and then when you turn the lights off, this is all going to glow as well.
Holy
But
shit.
thank you as a little thank you for being so kind and doing this for everybody else.
Oh my god, thank you so much. That is beautiful. I'm so
This is
happy.
the quietest I've ever been on any podcast I've done or radio, shows, like from radio stations that I've ever done. And we're talking like almost 2 decades. So like, dude, I thought I was over like the emotions. Like then when I was actually going through that box, like, holy fuck, man. Like,
I'm glad,
I
man.
love you, man. Like, just straight up, I love you, man.
Oh wait, did you find your art piece?
My art piece?
Oh yeah. I was waiting for that one. I thought maybe I missed it.
I saw your cardboard.
Oh wait,
that I put in there.
Raz did. Sorry, Jeremy. I'm
Oh,
pausing
no.
because
No worries.
Raz is. I thought maybe I missed it somehow.
Oh, we
but-
lost Tom.
I think the battery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna pull up. Oh wait, Tom's back.
Welcome back, Tom. We
Yeah.
missed you.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I didn't miss it. You
yeah,
did
I'm probably
tell me
gonna have
what
to
I'm
leave
thinking of,
because-
right?
All right, man.
One thing, Tom, I love your face hugger. My daughter sleeps with it every night. Well, hers version.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh shit! I did my
Oh, hold on. Get ready for
Yeah,
this.
you found it.
Just a second. Oh, I was so waiting for you to see that.
I found that and I found this one with it.
Yeah, I had a couple fans of that one, but I figured I'd send that one your way, a little Hellboy after Gan action.
I'm a big Hellboy fan too, man. But yeah, that's
Yes,
that's where I can see it every day.
Oh my god, he's gonna love it.
That's fun. Yeah, that was my like freak out for everybody's stuff. Okay.
I don't know who fixed it, but whoever fixed the echo, thank you so much. I was going insane.
I think that was
thought
me.
my brain was gonna pop.
I wasn't sure if that was just me or not. I want to say to him.
I think it might have been Tom, but we got it out now. So
Yeah, it's
all
gone.
good.
It's fantastic. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay. Well,
Jeremy,
since Rich
you did it.
isn't here, I'll do a little bit for him.
Do the
Spiel.
full thing to see us out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't do the whole thing. I'll do the. Hold on. That's the intro, the outro. That's a wrap, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Oh no, it's not Splash Pages. Hold on. Never mind. Just check out Splash Pages every Tuesday at 8. The Midweek Geeks on Wednesday at 9. Hey, this week I'll also be on Still Toking, doing some kind of movie thing tomorrow at 7. I don't know. We're talking to some, I don't know, indie movie person. They just called me up today. And then oh no, that's not tomorrow night. It's only Sunday. Holy crap.
Yeah. I was like,
All right,
there's a few days there, Jeremy.
Yeah. Wednesday is at 7 p.m. Check out Still Toking. Don't worry. I'll figure it all out. by the
You
end
call
of
it
the show.
Leoitis, I think.
It's been a long
it's
day.
Splash Pages. Wait, no, it's not.
It's not Splash Pages.
Fallout of all the different.
Time at Comic Camp.
It's too many shows. It's really what it is.
All the personalities.
Is there a such thing as too many though?
No. It's all good therapy.
Yep.
But that's about it.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and say
Suck it.
thank you, everybody. Look me up at, oddly enough, Carrie, Kari, Sanders. I forgot my last name for a minute there. You know, as you do. Sanders, Sanders on Facebook. And if you go from there, you can find Delphine and you can find all of my PBDC stuff and you can find everything else. And make sure you stick with checking out The Darkening because I am now a part of that. But
yeah.
on top of it all,
Congratulations.
I also have, thank you, the PBDC network. We have some great shows coming up, and Raz is my co-host.
Oh, Raz, you stick around long enough, I'm sure you'll be part of the door getting soon enough. We'll be like, hey, man, we need
hang out in
somebody
the
for this
basement and
show.
I just talk to
We need
people
a
about
show.
random things.
It's fun. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go.
I do actually want to make a quick announcement. I've got we've been talking
yes.
for a long time about the Frankers and Razzles show, and Hex and I are about to actually finally do this in a couple weeks, and it's going to be widely pop culture based. But because of him and I obsessively talk about wrestling even when it's inappropriate, and we invented Andre the Buffalo. It seems like a big chunk of what we're going to talk about when it's not Godzilla and God knows what. It's going to be probably a lot of wrestling. So that's something as an ex-wrestler myself, I'm super excited because I think him and I both have very different perspectives, but from fan and former wrestler. So like it's gonna be a lot of fun, I think, and we'll invent more characters like Andre the Nephilim.
Yeah, Andre the Nephilim, I'm working on T-shirts for. By the way, we just have to get the network approval for the company that they go through to use them, because it's this really ongoing joke with Nephilim that somebody did, and then we were talking about Andre the Giant, and Nephilims are giants, and so it became a thing.
Yeah, not friendly. We write on his shoulders.
Those of you who watch know what in the hell we're talking about because we have weird stuff. But anyway, thank you all for showing up. I'm going to go ahead and do this while John is gone because I don't want to keep you guys on any longer, but I want to keep you guys on for a little bit longer if you can. And so, love y'all. Thank y'all for watching us, and have a good night. I sent out some money looking for some stuff, and I got this package in the mail. We need something else to go with this because we're geeks, but you know what we need?